What's going on? It's Dark Art Man Boxing, and we're back with another boxing conversation. Man, oh man, I seen some interesting news today on my timeline. Some very interesting news. Canelo Alvarez is fighting Bivol, but Bivol is a Russian citizen. Therefore, he's under a lot of pressure. They saying that that fight, it may not happen due to what's going on in the Ukraine or whatever. But anyways, I seen an article today about John Ryder saying that he is training just in case that fight does not happen with Canelo Alvarez and Bivol due to the Ukraine Russian situation, whatever. But we're gonna talk more about it. Let me get my folks on real quick. Brother Julius in the building. What's going on, man?
What's good, Art?
Shit, not much. I'm just chilling, man. I'm enjoying my Thursday. I've been working so much, man. I just forgetting the days. But what's going on with you, man?
Ain't too much. A lot going on in boxing, though. I'll tell you that, man. Just a lot going on in sports, period.
Yeah, that's true.
Definitely boxing, man.
That's true. That's very true. But what I wanted to talk about first is the Canelo versus John Ryder. The reason why I
Mm-hmm.
bring that up is because a couple days ago, I don't know if you remember, but I was on the live stream saying, like, man, I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo fights Ryder because of this whole Ukraine situation.
And I think I said it on Twitter today that you've been saying that for about a month now. But my thing on this is, man, this thing
It's kind of
sometimes
difficult.
people have to take the emotion out of it, Art, man. And I know that Canelo fans or whatever, but I'm saying this as a boxing fan. I don't care if this was Earl Spence, if it was Bud Crawford. Man, it come a time where just because your resume say that you fought a lot of guys doesn't mean that you get the for the next 2-3 years just fight tune-ups.
While
I
claiming
mean, I'm
that you're
just
the
being
best.
honest because he knows that the Bivol fight it's a high probability it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? With what Russia is doing to the Ukraine, that doesn't sit well with a lot of people. And these boxing organizations are not good, or I mean, across the world are not sanctioning Russian, not just boxing. You got tennis. It's a lot of different sports that cycling that said, hey, we're not allowing you if you're from Russia to be in our tournament. And that's just what's been going on. They've been sanctioning people, and and I think that you're right. I don't think this fight gonna come off. I think it's gonna be John Ryder. But just the thing of him signing that deal where he get to fight John Ryder anyway,
Yeah,
a guy that lost to a
that's what
guy
I'm
named
saying, and that's
Nicky
what I told
Blackwell.
people. That's what I told people. I said, man, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a situation where they just push the number three guy to the number one guy
Yeah,
on the that list of fighters that he
right.
said he signed a deal to fight for. I don't know, man. It's just wild, dude. Because I posted on my timeline. I said, man, would y'all mind a replacement fighter in John Ryder? And fans were actually saying they don't mind because John Ryder has a better win on his resume than Charlo and Andre, and
Bro,
that's
I'm gonna say
Danny
again,
and
man.
that's Danny Jacobs.
Man, come on. If he had beat Danny Jacobs 5-10 years ago, I would say, oh, yeah, that's a good win. But first of all, he got beat anyway. Let's get that out of the way. Even though Danny Jacobs is not the same fighter, ain't close to it, I thought Danny Jacobs won the fight.
I never watched it.
Yeah, I watched I watched the replay, but I'm gonna say this though, man. John Ryder lost to a guy named Nicky Blackwell. He lost to another journeyman guy where he got knocked out. Like, What are people talking about? This guy's garbage, man. And
They
I
already
hate
said
calling
it though. They're
fighters
saying they
garbage,
don't
but
mind. They don't
he's a
mind it.
domestic fighter, of course, because they know that Canelo is gonna win by knockout, and they get to cheer. And at some point, this isn't about boxing anymore. It's about race. It's about
Race and entertainment.
entertainment. And here's the crazy thing. And like I heard the lady, in the ring with Christine say, you know, the people here, the Mexican Americans here, give Canelo more love than the Mexicans do in Mexico.
Because they know it. Because you gotta think about it. These Mexican fans, the ones that's from Mexico, they grew up on Cesar Chavez Sr., what's the other guy named Sanchez something?
Yeah, Salvador Sanchez,
Yeah.
Marco Barrera,
Myro. You
yeah,
know what I'm
Eric
saying? Juan
Morales,
Marquez and shit. They seen that shit and they seen the legendary
Marquez.
wars. They seen the legendary wars or just good scraps that the people had throughout the times. And they're like, dude, yeah, Canelo's popular and all that, but let's be real, you know what I'm saying? He's not fighting those guys. He don't got them classic fights. And that's what I always tell my guy, Polo, who's always debating me on Canelo.
I be saying it. He be saying stuff about me too, on certain things, but like he tried to come in when I retweeted the thing about Pernell Whitaker and how they were trying to get Pernell Whitaker to a man that started at 135 at the time, fought one time. He said, "Hey, I'm gonna take one fight at 54," and he fought a champion, and he weighed like 150 for that fight that he won. But the thing was, they wanted him to jump up another 3 weight classes.
Classes to
The
fight Roy
fight,
Jones Jr. I said, I
one of
heard
the
what I said.
greatest to
I
ever
said,
live. Come on, man.
I said, brother Julius, is this what the hell they really got going on in the night?
Absolutely, they
But
did
shout
it
out to
back
my guy
then.
D Hive in the chat,
D-High,
just
what's
sitting there
good, brother?
silently.
What's up, y'all? Oh no, I just didn't want to interrupt.
No, jump in.
Man, so for the last 2 years, I've been one of the only people defending Bivol as somebody that's worth shit. I've admitted that he's one of the 5 people I wanted to see Canelo fight. So I'm on here with fucking Artman and Remy, and I'm talking big shit. And they both like, well, D-Hive, you talking all that shit, but you might not even get the goddamn fight. And I was like, wait, what? and then they were talking about the potential of him being yanked off the car last minute for some Ryder bullshit. I was like, nah, of
He was
course
like,
not.
hell nah.
I was like, nah, that's not gonna happen. Of course not. That would be horrible. Fast forward a week later, these niggas are already lubing up motherfuckers. They're like, hey, well, it's looking kind of shaky. They might pull Bibble off. I'm like, motherfucker, this bitch ass. And you know what? It makes me so mad because I was just about to give this motherfucker some credit. I was just about to do it.
It's not done yet. It's not done yet. It's not done yet. But let me see my dude Alex Arbrocho G. He said, I think you're wrong on this one, Art man. Canelo doesn't see Ryder as a worthy opponent. Canelo may fight Bootsy in the UK. The Bivol fight is going ahead.
Oh, you're talking about Boatsy?
He's not gonna fight Buatsi. I don't think he ever was serious about moving up the cruiserweight like that, unless
Boatsi's not that cruiser.
Against Buki or Booty or whatever.
Boatsi's at light heavyweight. Okoli's at cruiser. And after
that's right. He at light heavy, but he wouldn't fight this guy because the fight makes no sense. It makes no sense to fight that guy there.
Who called for it?
Yeah, exactly. Like who's calling for it?
Yeah,
Other than Eddie Hearn.
I don't want to see Canelo fight none of those motherfuckers. And after the show, Boatsy just put on, he need to sit his black ass down and go back to the drawing board. I don't know what the fuck that was. That was horrible.
Hey, man.
You look like straight garbage.
D-Hive, Art, y'all know I be hard on fighters, man. But, Art, man, you be in the gym and you see a lot of old school trainers in there. And they'll tell you a lot of these guys today, they can't fight, man. And if you can fight a little bit today, you can navigate your way through a lot of weight classes and
that's why sometimes I be seriously thinking like, man, hold on, let me get a little fight in if I could. Let me see if I could jump the rankings and get a title fight.
Bro, look at dudes like Gabe Rosado and Derek Chisora. They're literally known for being professional garbage. They're fucking horrible. Like and the thing is, like, I know Julius says like a lot of fighters can't fight, especially early in their careers, because he's been alive longer than we have and he's seen some shit. But these dudes are proven trash that get
Right.
multi-million-dollar deals. Like Gabe Rosado I'm sorry, but he's proven garbage.
Yeah.
He's
So
proven that he cannot
somebody
perform.
said, why are these fighters not fighting each other? This, and that. I said, you boy, blame Canelo. He done fucked up the game. He just showed us that you can make millions of dollars fighting your sparring partner.
And let me say this. Guys have always fought sparring partners, but it don't always end well for you.
I'm talking about like when I
Yeah, I
say guys
got
like
you.
sparring
Like
partners, I'm
some
talking
Right.
about
Yeah,
just
I know what you
trash.
mean.
Here, Drew.
No,
I'm,
you're absolutely
Yeah.
right,
Like
man.
Deverenchenko was Daniel Jacobs' sparring partner, but you saw Deverenchenko came to fight. He didn't just come in there, oh, thanks
Right.
for the paycheck, buddy. I can finally get the rest of my family out the gulag. Nigga, fuck that shit.
Yeah. But
To...
but guys come into the ring against Canelo, and see, this is where and I thank God that I was born when I was and got a chance to see boxing the way that it was, because D-Hive, I'm gonna tell you, man, you know, the way that some of these guys fight Canelo, you know, I just don't understand it, where they sacrifice their own career to make him look good. Like, okay, if he beat you, fine, but give a honest, you know, fight. Like Plant, he wasn't trying to win. Caleb Smith, he wasn't trying to win. You know, let's be honest. Them guys weren't trying to win the fight. They were trying to survive and just look good enough that somebody would say, oh, well, they earned their money tonight. And like Caleb Smith didn't throw any punches at all.
Right. And that's
DJ Saunders quit. Like,
that's
these guys
another
don't want to fight.
that's another thing that's always bothered me, because like that's another thing that's always bothered me. That's why when with the Plant press conference and Bivol and shit, I've been looking at that energy, because Canelo, like most boxers that exhibit a lot of skill level, you got to get them off the rhythm. And the only way to come at Canelo is to jump on his ass. That's why I was so excited for the Charlo fight, because at the very least, somebody like Charlo will throw all that boxing shit out the window and just take it to the streets and jump on a motherfucker ass.
Right.
The man
Jump
threw
on his
1,000
ass.
punches.
Right.
And I'm telling people, like, y'all can say Charlo sucked, this, and that. He threw 1,000 punches, man. Who the hell is throwing 1,000 punches at Canelo Alvarez?
Well, you know,
I'm backing up. They don't
Yeah.
even want to engage. Like, look at Callum Smith. I mean, Callum Smith is tall, so Canelo couldn't access his chin, and he wouldn't let him tag his liver. But look at him; he didn't throw anything. He didn't throw any of that fancy shit we saw at 175. He didn't do none of that shit. When he was fighting that fucking kickboxer for the World Boxing Super Series, I watched them fights. He ain't do none of that shit. He ain't do none of that.
And they want to talk about Canelo fought champion after champion. Who are these guys? Who's
hey, look, man. We got too many guys. And like, let me bring up this that is a little off subject, but I'm gonna bring it into this subject. It's like with the Coppinger situation when Agus Kilmus called Coppinger out for fake stories. Okay, it's like all this misinformation and straight lying, and those things help certain fighters. Like Canelo has benefited from Oscar De La Hoya buying the Ring magazine. So he got favorable writing towards his career. Those things in history will make a fighter greater than what they really was. I give you an example. Arturo Gatti. Arturo Gatti was a human punching bag. But because people wrote certain stories about him, showed him this love, and they made these fights against basic fighters, these super wars, they make them bigger than life. And that's what a lot of these guys are benefiting from, man, is that the person with the pen, or now it's the person that's behind the keyboard typing in things, determine how people 40, 50 years from now, 10 years from now, look at that person.
Exactly. And Brother Julius, so there's a movie that many people wanted me to watch, and I finally got time to watch it. It was the Great White
Hype. Yeah.
One of the best boxing movie ever.
The way I'm talking, man, you would have thought I watched that movie a long time ago. Because I've been saying all the stuff, and then to watch it in the movie, I'm like, yo, so they've been giving us the game of how they manipulate the people, and people just look right past it.
That's how you could tell how young a lot of these casuals are. They don't know that what they're seeing today is repetition. It's repetition and repetition, repetition. The only thing that's changed is that the politics have gotten to the point now where it looks like all of people being locked out the game was just circumstance. Like back in the day, you could just be like, hey, we ain't fighting them niggas. No, fuck that. They need to go do something else. But now, because boxing fans have become a little bit more active, a little bit more diverse, and the talent's undeniable, especially when you have YouTube and all kinds of other social media. Now people are having more opinions about who's the goods, and they need to get political on it. They need to make it look like, oh, okay, we can't fight him because, you know, with the franchise, it would mess a lot of this up over here, and that would take things, you know, they have to legitimize it somehow because people ain't going for the bullshit no more. So that's the one thing that's changed. But these things have been repeated over and over again. Tyson Fury, and that, like they've already done
that,
like
hold on. In that movie, The Great White Hype, one part I like is when he's talking to the reporter. There was a reporter in the movie, and he's just like going at the Don King character, big promoter character or whatever. He's like, yo, I got these pictures, I can expose you, da 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 da. And Samuel L. Jackson says, you know what? Hold on. Before you do that, let me offer you a job. Offered that man a job. He came back in the hallway, told his camera crew, this man is a great man. It's just like
stuff happens same way. What happened with Mike Coppinger with DK?
Damn that. Look at Benavidez. Look at Benavidez. They didn't offer him shit. Just Canelo fans just say, hey man, you better shut the fuck up for your name be doodle out in these streets. Oh, okay. That's it. It didn't take no money, no job, no fight.
Hey, let me say something to Eric Gomez. Eric, I didn't say that Ring Magazine made Canelo. I said that they set a narrative out there. This happens not just in boxing. D-Hive knows it happens in politics. It happens in politics for sure. Every walk of life. If you can get the media on your side and put out certain content, it helps you in the long run. You know what I'm saying?
That's why a lot of school. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I would say that's why a lot of school doesn't give you critical thinking skills. A lot of curriculum at every single level is not designed for you to have critical thinking skills. Critical thinking skills are something you have to commit to and hone on your own. And then you have to, and the school just provides the materials that you can study. Like you can put your critical thinking into math. You can put your critical thinking into politics, into science. But the people running shit know that most of y'all niggas are lames. They know y'all lames and y'all run with whatever they feed you. They know they only have to really go to war with about 15% of us. And that's being generous. So it's real easy for the other 85 to just jump on some shit
and fall in line.
Yeah,
the perfect example is the Joshua Fury situation. Because, like D-Hive said, it's only like a 15% of people that they had to really worry about. Because we were saying, like, yo, how do y'all see the bro? They put nigga, if the fight is signed, why is there no date? Well, Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum is a lawyer. You're not a lawyer, Negro.
Yeah, right. Right.
And I'm just like, bro, notice that he's saying one more week, and it's like 10 weeks later.
Exactly.
It's been 6 fucking months.
Dude, it was so bad that people even bet money with me off of Eddie Hearn's. That's how much Eddie Hearn's words mean to these guys. That they put their they put money on it.
Yeah.
On this another man's word.
Hey, look, man. How many times have we seen in life in general? I don't care what color you are. If you're non-white, a white man tell us, hey, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen tomorrow. I promise you, you're gonna get this. I promise you, you're gonna get that, and you never get it. And look, I grew up during a time and a situation where they would tell you, look, boy, don't you talk back to them white folks. Don't you do this to them white folks. So it is still the same way, man. And like people are just more educated and say it in a more professional manner, but it's still the same old. The same old, same old. And the guy said no one reads the Ring magazine. You don't have to read no more. That's what D-Hive was telling you. You don't read. So they put out the content now. Everyone has a phone and everyone keeps it in their face 24. If you are awake during the day, that phone is on you and you're looking at it. And guess what you're doing? You're reading and you're looking at pictures. So that's all they had to do. And you get Mike Coppinger, you get Dan Raphael, you get all these guys on board with Steve Kim, who is real close friends with Dougie Fisher from Ring Magazine. See, all that stuff.
And they all got bills like us.
Yeah.
So they can be bought.
And the
They
thing
don't
is,
got no backbone, so they can be bought easier.
And the
What
thing is,
what did Kenny Porter do? And excuse me, D-Hive.
No, it's all good.
Kenny Porter and the barbershop conversation is a great example of what we're talking about. Kenny Porter used to buy some of those reporters, like Barbershop and some of those guys before they fell out, used to buy their hotel room when they go to fights. He would put them up for a night. And look, go back to old B-Shop News. He talked so great about Kenny Porter and Sean Porter, and then they fell out. That stuff happens. Coppinger had Eddie Hearn was paying his bills before he got
fired from ESPN because of that shit.
Yeah,
didn't
flying
Steve Kim
these
get fired
guys
too?
all over the place.
Didn't
Go ahead,
Didn't Steve Kim get fired too?
Absolutely, he got fired.
Yeah, I think he got fired.
He didn't even last a year at ESPN.
Yeah, he got clipped.
Racist guy.
Dan got clipped because this motherfucker, and I remember it was some fight.
Al Heyman show.
It was a good Al Heyman fight that was going on, right? And instead of covering that, he went to go cover some weak ass DAZN fight.
Yep. Wasn't it like a Wilder Ortiz or something?
I think so.
The second fight, yeah.
Yeah, and then he went to the other fight, and he was like, oh, yeah, he did a report on it and said, oh, it's good, whatever. And then Eddie Hearn, Blabbermouth, came on YouTube, was like, yeah, of course we pay for media. Who doesn't? Yeah. Like, I don't know, Eddie Hearn, he just, I don't know. He
Bob Aaron pays
He just said, yeah, of course I pay for media. Like, Dan Raphael, I had him fly out to the and he like, damn, nigga, ESPN, like, hold on, what?
See, Eric Gomez, that's the thing though. People do listen to Mike Coppinger. And what Julius said is very important. He said that most of you don't read. The people that run Read Magazine, they know you motherfuckers don't read. Why do you think they got a bunch of dudes on Twitter creating an echo chamber for you to feast off of to feed the prejudice that you were born with? It's easy. Most of y'all were already raised improperly. Most of y'all have no critical thinking skills. So all you gotta do is get four motherfuckers who claim they used to have clout in boxing at one point to repeat the same stuff all day at the same exact time and have their podcast on at the same exact time at the same exact place. And then it creates an echo chamber that got you repeating after people. That's why I call Canelo's fan base the cult of Canelo.
What pissed me off the most is like how Canelo really sat there and said, Andre, I don't want to fight you because you're a terrible fighter. And you guys know Andre is not a terrible fighter. Regardless of who he fighting, you know the motherfucker is levels against those guys he's fighting. Mm-hmm. So for you guys to sit there and believe that and say, Andre is a terrible fighter. Like, it's just wild. It's like, bro.
You know who created that narrative? Dan Raphael put that out about Boo Boo, and he put it out about Guillermo Rigondeaux. Go back.
Oh yeah, he
ain't got it. This is not just.
Dan is wild.
He did this for 5 years in a row. He said, "Oh my God, all you do is go to sleep when you see Rigondeaux. All you do is go to sleep when you see Boo Boo Andre." See. And to answer your question, Eric, and they say you don't read, you read the internet. Also, when these guys, all of them, Coppinger, Raphael, all those guys have went through, Steve Kim have went through the ESPN cycle. What sports fan doesn't look at ESPN? They weren't just reading content. These people were going on national television talking. Now, one thing about it, if we don't read, I bet you we look at TV and we see these interviews and these guys been saying these same narratives for over and over. And right now to this day, people will tell you, oh, Ricky Diaz was boring. He was this, he was that. We see him and then they get up here on Twitter. They be 17, 18, 19 years old, don't know boxing at all. And all they do is repeat things they have heard since they was 11 and 12 years old.
What's so funny about that movie?
Salute Diaz.
The movie, The Great White Hype.
Great White Hype.
Yeah, when he said, "Man, what are you talking about, man? Boxing isn't about race." I said, "Oh my God, this!"
And everybody laughed at him.
Yeah, they were like, "Look at this goofy motherfucker!"
Started laughing at him. I said, "Man, this is something that I hear on Twitter all the time." And look how they laughed at it back then.
Yep.
And then what Julius just said, look at what y'all do now. What do y'all say? Oh, Haney's boring, therefore he's horrible. Stephen Fulton is boring and he loses fights, therefore he's horrible. Y'all repeat the same thing and y'all don't even realize it. And it's funny because you'll have super inconsistent people talking about, Canelo offered him an Andre fight. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's say that's true. Why the fuck would he turn around and say that he's horrible and he'd never fight him then? That makes Canelo look stupid.
Man, like you said, D-Hop, they don't have critical thinking skills, bro. They weren't even able to look past the fact that Eddie Joshua and Fury had a fight signed but no date or venue.
Yeah. That's just like Ryan Garcia and like half his fights for the last 2 years. Oh, Ryan Garcia fighting this. When is it? Shut the hell up. You don't know what the
Can
hell
I buy the tickets for it?
Right. Where is it? What's the venue? It's just like Virgil Ortiz Jr.'s magical fight on January 22nd, why he couldn't challenge Bud or fight Boots or fight Avanesian or somebody worth it. Well, who was he fighting and where? It was January 22nd. Okay, where and who's the opponent? Exactly. Just stop talking, man. Like even Canelo had to come on Twitter and tell y'all to chill out with all the cap. He was like, "Hey, we didn't do that."
and also, man,
capping so much. Canelo, I was wondering I was on this space recently, and the guys were saying basically the conversation of Canelo came up, and I asked him. I said, "Dude, so what do y'all think? Did Canelo do the right thing picking guys like Bivol, Triple G, and John Ryder over David Benavidez and Charlo?" And they sat there and said, "Yes, because he's fighting another champion." I said, "Nigga, you a fucking lie. You a liar." I said, "Now belts mean something to y'all?"
Right. And let me say this, man. I've gotten into it with not just Dan Raphael before, but other guys about this subject right here, about a guy being a horrible fighter and Canelo say, "Oh, he horrible. Only in the sport of boxing do we talk about a style and then they're horrible. Like, for example, when you're watching, and Cozy, you right, the European tour, and you know, like if you're watching basketball, right? And if a team is a slow-paced team, you don't say, "Oh no, they're garbage. They won the world championship or the national championship. Oh, they're garbage. Their style." Nah, man. Boxing has always been you fight every style, and some styles you struggle with, and some styles you don't. But when you're a true champion, you're supposed to be able to get in that ring on any style, and you're supposed to be able to overcome it. Like I said, I've seen,
and that's why I keep on asking them. I said, because these dudes, man, I'm telling you, man, they're starting to get with the what's it called? The get along, go along gang.
Yeah,
because they don't even want to argue it no more. They just say, "Well, he's just the best resume and all that." And I asked these dudes, I said, "So you telling me out of all these talented boxers in boxing, this is the best fighter stylistically in boxing?"
And the worst part is
because he beat Billy Joe Saunders.
And the worst part is they keep talking about, "Oh, why didn't Charlo and Andre do it?" I'm like, number one, they didn't have the political plan to go. They didn't have the political protection to go ahead and make that jump. Number two, if they did, you motherfuckers would give them less than no credit. Why do I say that? Because Triple G late in his career, when he was pound for pound number one, was literally fighting fucking Charlo and Andre leftovers, and y'all were giving him credit for that. But y'all didn't even give fucking Charlo and Andre any credit for beating them then. Like, people don't realize that Andre is the one who took Martirosyan's O. And as opposed to fighting Andre in between Canelo fights or doing something fucking worth a damn, Triple G decided to fight who? Washed ass Martirosyan between Canelo fights. And what y'all do? Y'all gave him all the credits that he was the ultimate badass for taking out Martirosyan, but forgot who initially took his O, who was Demetrius Andrade. So no, right. y'all would not give them any goddamn credit. Y'all know y'all wouldn't.
And let me tell you, NJP, Sweet Pea was a true champion, and I'm gonna speak about it right now while we talking about Canelo and we talking about these styles. I seen Roy Jones beat a guy named Eric Hardin, right? Eric Hardin was a tough fighter from Connecticut. Was a so-called, he was a lanky, not lanky, he was a built, tall, southpaw black guy that didn't punch hard, but had a great chin and could walk you down and hit you with body shots. And he just beat Antonio Tarver, the same Tarver that knocked Roy Jones out for his first win. That's why this, you beat this guy and that guy means nothing. Eric Hardin beat up Tarver, then Roy Jones came and knocked and stopped Eric Hardin. Fight every style, man. Stop with all this.
Look,
this guy and that guy. Just fight the fight.
And that's what I'm saying, dude. I'm gonna keep it 100 with Charlo, because I was really thinking about it. I'm like, Charlo, man, I'm gonna keep it 100, dude. Fuck it, take the risk and fight David Benavidez, nigga. Because I should have never spoken into existence. Now it's here.
Man, let me tell you something.
Just fight him, bro, because I know
he gotta do something with his career.
But fight him. Fuck it.
David Benavidez reminds me of Antonio Margarito. Now, a lot of people don't like to fight those style of fighters because they're going to throw a lot of punches and they're going to stay in your face all night, and they're big and they're tall for their weight class. But Shane Mosley showed us something about Antonio Margarito before Manny Pacquiao knocked him out. I mean, he didn't even knock him out. He just beat him up. Before Manny Pacquiao, Shane Mosley showed you that a fighter like that, because Benavidez, as much as I love him and I think that he's strong and he'll stop Caleb Plant, this guy get hit a lot. So you're supposed to have a field day fighting a tall, lanky guy that comes forward. So my thing is this right here. Is your confidence high enough? And I'm talking, and see, they don't like when we'll talk about our own, because I call it like I see it. Yeah, is your confidence level high enough? Is it up for a fight like this? Because you got to have confidence, because this guy gonna stay in your face all night.
And you have to throw every punch.
They watch Benavidez fight before. They probably thinking like, man, this guy's big as hell.
And he throw 1,000 punches.
And he throw a lot of punches.
And what Jermell was saying, like even recently, what Jermell was saying, that wasn't good energy to put out there. Talking about, he needs to move up to cruiserweight and heavyweight. I'm like, nigga, you just shut the fuck up. You don't want to say all that right now?
Man, damn. Hey, man, fight him. Hey, look.
I'm going to keep it 100. I'll fight him. But he's probably thinking, man, like, dude, like you said, Julius, this guy's going to be in my face all night.
Yeah.
Man, but you gotta have that killer mentality, like, nigga, I'm finished, man. You gotta shoot that jab, nigga, and that straight down the middle, nigga. Ain't that what you know how to do, nigga? Stop being a little, I ain't saying you scary or something. I'm just
saying, know what I don't like about, the only thing I don't like about
every jab.
Yeah, the one thing I don't like about Charlo game, in a Midwest boxing said that Roy avoided punches. At what weight class?
And
Tarver was a puncher. I was going to ask at 75, and at one time he fought a guy early in his title reign. He fought a guy, Thomas Tate, and Thomas Tate was a puncher.
But
I was
going to ask at what point in his career.
Go ahead. I was just going out with Midwest. Go ahead.
I don't want to get too far gone.
All right, go ahead.
with the Charlo situation, yeah,
Yeah,
like my dude NJMP said, shoot that right down the middle, man. Man up. Don't be scared of this guy, David Benavidez, because fuck around, you can beat this dude.
you
He
gotta
got a
throw
lot of
body punches
flaws, my
too.
guy.
You
You
gotta
gotta throw body
he
punches.
has to loop a lot of his shots because David Benavidez
Yes,
loves that high guard and he backs up a lot. But the thing is, David Benavidez, he does not protect his body and he doesn't protect his
right.
temple. You need to
And
loop. You need to loop shots around the guard, put the jab in his face, but
Right on top.
always put something behind it. When Charlo's
but
unsure of himself, he reverts to individual jabs, and that ain't gonna get it.
This
but
nigga
here's the thing.
with Charlo's
Yeah,
game, he will fucking shoot the jab, and try to hit you with that straight right. It's like he fights one way, like it's kind of hard to explain where he's just basically like he only has one angle.
no,
He
what
turns
To
you
into
be
a
honest,
saying
robot.
but
is
I'm thinking
what you
I
saying
don't see him.
is that Charlo can be a lazy fighter at times, but you got to get more diverse with your punches. He got the best hard jab in boxing, but you got to change the speed of it. Fighting certain fighters, if you just do a hard jab all night, there are fighters that are good enough and IQ is good enough that they'll time your jab and they'll
But
start
David
punching over the
Benavidez
top
don't
on
got
you.
that much defense though. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying though. He's
I
not gonna
agree.
like try to. I don't think I can't see really David Benavidez countering Charlo's jab.
Let
I
me
feel like
say,
he's just
Right,
gonna
I
shell.
agree.
I feel like he's just gonna shell up like this and
But
wait for Charlo to
what
start
he
no,
punching
but,
and then start
but what he
Benavidez
punching.
could
could do.
definitely. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say what he could do and probably would do is start to smother Charlo and just go right on the inside and start pounding away. And it's easy to smother guys now because they're not active enough with their jab. If you show me a fighter that's real active with the jab to the head and the body, you got to jab to the head and the
And body,
body
up
because
top, down low.
jabbing downstairs, a fighter might be like, oh man, that jab to the body ain't nothing. By round 5, 6, and 7, you start to see a
Sugar Ray versus Tommy
significance
Hearns won.
slowing a person down. Look at
Sugar Ray versus Tommy Hearns won.
right, exactly.
Honestly, what I was gonna
Yeah.
say was the reason why I think David Benavidez could counter the jab is because of his size. If Benavidez takes a half step back, he'll still be in range. Whereas if Charlo takes a half step back, he'll be out of range and he won't hit shit. Now, what I was gonna say is, if y'all go back and watch Jermell Charlo versus Rosario, but the first two knockdowns, not the stoppage, because that was a jab to the body because Rosario weak as fuck in the chest.
You
But
we talking about a different Charlo, right?
Yeah,
no,
you talking
yeah,
about the one
I'm
versus
talking.
Okay, you
Rosario.
talking about Jamil. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah, and I'm comparing the two. I'm
Right.
not saying that Rosario fights in a similar style, but look at the size differential and then look how they fight and how they defend. For the first two knockdowns, Jermell Charlo got inside of Rosario's jab and went buck wild and just started swinging. And what happened? He got two knockdowns. Now, when he was on the back foot doing all that high guard shit, Rosario was just able to jab him, counter his jab, land some shots in there. But he just let his hands go and swung wild. Rosario, what happened? He hit the damn deck. He clipped him in the temple and he lost his legs. That's exactly how Big Charlo needs to fight Benavidez. He needs to get inside Benavidez's jab and then go buck wild. And it's the same instructions as I would give him against Canelo.
Boxing, you right.
I like how that's actually one of my favorite Charlo fights. I like how he fought in that fight. He wasn't like overly aggressive, you know. It was controlled.
Yeah.
And he was patient with it too. It's not like he was just, just wild, just like fuck it, just throwing caution to win. But he was doing his thing, man, and he was able to. I remember specifically when he was in the clinch and they broke out, he immediately got on his ass.
Yep.
Charlo needs to do shit like that.
Looping shots to the head and then cracked him, and then he was in there on roller skates. And I'm like, that's exactly how you got to do them.
Well,
that's how you got to do
it's easier
Benavidez,
said
and that's
than
how you got to
done.
do Canelo.
Yeah, it's easier said than done. You got to have confidence to do that. And right now, Charlo don't seem like he want to fight Benavidez. But I'm gonna say this, and I got to bring up. And yes, boxing is right. Errol Spence is very dynamic to the body as far as jabbing and then beating. But I had to say something about Caleb Plant and how it relates to these guys today. I remember when Caleb Plant, before the Canelo fight, James Toney got in the ring with him to try to show him a few things. And he pretty much blew him off like, man, it's to
Caleb
me.
That's
Plant
how
blew
you
off
niggas did
James
it back in the
Toney.
day. This ain't back in the
Yeah, he
day.
blew him off. And my thing is this right here. Boxing is one of those sports, man, where it's not like basketball or baseball. Like the game ain't changed to the point where you can say, like a guy today, basketball is about 3-pointers and dunks. It wasn't about that growing up or the last 50, 60 years. You know what I'm saying? But boxing is the same. You jab, you hit to the body. You know what I'm saying? You break a guy down, you knock him out. Like so I be seeing these guys and they have no respect for what a guy is. So if they won't listen to James Toney, they're not gonna listen to their trainer.
Wait, but hold on. Caleb Plant blew off James Toney for
Yeah.
Yeah,
Philly
you
shell
don't remember
advice.
that? You
Hell
don't remember
no.
that?
I didn't give a fuck about Caleb Plant because I didn't give him no real hope. But he blew that off.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
blew him off like he
Oh
didn't know what he
my
It
was
was
talking
like, and
about.
then I think they try to clear
god,
it up and say it wasn't like that.
man, you stupid motherfucker! I don't want to hear about Caleb Plant again. And I hope David
But
Benavidez
I
get on
only
your
brought
ass.
it up because I wanted y'all to see that if these guys won't listen to legends, what makes anyone think they'll listen to their trainer?
That's
And
fucking
and and
insane.
that's including the Charlo because Jamel won't listen to nobody, and that's just the facts. Jamel
Yeah.
don't listen. Had he listened to Derek James, he would be the undisputed champion today.
Yeah, and also Rozier. A lot of Rozier's fighters don't listen to him either. Not even
Andre
Jacobs.
Rozier, right?
I don't know what that is. I'm like, why are you not paying attention? Why are
Because
you not doing what the
Look,
fuck you
yeah,
at?
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, man. I don't know if Andre Rozier, like, he's a good trainer, but I don't think he's an elite trainer.
he's not elite, but you know what he was that night with Danny Jacobs, the couple nights with Danny Jacobs. He told him the truth. And here's another thing, Art, man. I agree with you that Andre Rozier ain't nobody that it should be given, a boxing movie or documentary about training. But some fighters click with certain trainers. And Andre Rozier, to me, is a guy that he was in he's in tune with Danny because he's been with him so long. You get what I'm saying? And he can make he know how to make Danny listen, but Danny stopped listening and he
No, he
lost the
don't.
fight.
No,
You
And
know?
Rozier
then they
don't.
start getting that money.
Rozier don't know
Yeah.
how to make Jacobs listen because he doesn't. He doesn't listen to fucking all. Like at least Deverenchenko, his excuse is English is the second or third damn language, and he can only do so much. Like against Charlo, I didn't give Deverenchenko no legitimate shot. I thought he was gonna get in there and get his ass whooped, and that's exactly what happened. So there's only so much you can instruct against a guy like Charlo. But with Jacobs' path to victory be simple. Just follow fucking instruction, and he doesn't do it. He didn't do it with Ryder, which I don't. This is why some people think Danny Jacobs is intentionally throwing these fights because the instructions are so simple that and he still doesn't follow them.
The only thing I seen from that fight was Danny Jacobs like walking out the arena or walking out or from the stage smiling,
Exactly,
shaking
bro.
people's hand in the crowd. I said, "Oh yeah."
He was, and it's funny because y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Art man, I know you may have not seen the fight, but Julius, I know you watched it.
Which fight was that?
Jacobs and Ryder.
Okay, go ahead.
Every single time, and this is probably about 3 times at this point, every single time Jacobs had Ryder hurt with a looping right, as opposed to just putting another one on him and ending the damn fight, he would hold him.
Right.
Am I right or wrong about that?
That's facts.
So
No, I gotta see that shit now.
You do. You got to watch it, and then you got to listen to the corner instructions because the shit is simple. And it was crazy because Ryder is nothing. Jacobs could have walked over him. This is a motherfucker with like 30 knockouts, and you telling me you going up and waiting, you losing power? Man, get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. This is why people think he throwing fights.
Let me tell you something. I just feel like, man, boxing it's a funny game, bro. I honestly feel like, yes, nobody's mad that Ryder left with that W because Jacobs got paid.
I'm fucking
and
mad.
now Ryder has a little storyline just in case he has to fight Canelo somehow.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm mad at that weak ass, lame ass shit. I mean, I don't want to see Jacobs get another Canelo fight either, but shit, Ryder, man, bruh, man.
I mean, you got to think, man. When Danny Jacobs started dating, trying to think of the girl, run,
Angela Simmons.
Yeah, Angela Simmons.
Yeah.
And also the storyline, the Miracle Man coming back from cancer and all of that. I'm not saying now that's a great thing. He's not dead. He came back from cancer.
And
but
won a belt. I
sometimes,
feel like the storyline over after that.
Yeah, I think so. But what happened is he rode that Miracle Man thing for as long as he could ride it. And then he started getting into the celebrity world. He moved from Brooklyn to Atlanta. Atlanta is
hell no.
People try to say, man, people try to say the South or whatever, but that's Black Hollywood.
Yeah, and that's some weirdo shit.
That stuff can engulf you, man. And that's what I think happened to Danny Jacobs. On top of Danny Jacobs not being no bona fide superstar like people thought.
Right. Yeah. But I didn't know he moved to Atlanta. That's some bullshit.
Oh yeah, he lived in Atlanta. That's how he got up with.
He moved to Atlanta. Now he throwing 5 jabs in a row.
I'm saying, man, he got that. As soon as he got that booty, he was off duty, man. Like it was over with.
Eric, I agree. I like Atlanta too, but I'm just telling you that when these guys, and Cozy, you're right, it's Black Hollywood. But when these guys move into Atlanta, it go down in the A, man. They
definitely do.
That's what it is.
If you're trying to focus, you shouldn't live in Miami, Atlanta, Vegas, no place where the pussy is above like a 7. Like,
but here's the thing about Atlanta, though. I mean, it's enough. I mean, Atlanta got 3 counties within it. A lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? They got 3 counties in it, and you could go out to Cobb County. Like, they got enough, and you could be on a ranch just like Earl Spence, right there in Atlanta. But
I've never been to Atlanta, but I've been to Augusta, Georgia.
Augusta, that's on the South Carolina border.
And I seen the Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, hey, that's my store, man. I get my collards from Piggly Wiggly.
Danny Jacobs,
country shit I ever seen.
Danny Jacobs rich as hell.
That's your roots right there, Art, man.
My family from
Mississippi.
There you go. They got Piggly Wigglies there.
Jacobs probably don't want to deal with any racist stuff or any homeless stuff or a situation where he might have to like draw his gun or something. So
man,
like,
look,
let me go ahead and live.
Hey, let me say this, bro. Hey, look, Atlanta, the outer greater Atlanta and stuff like that, man. That dude could go to Cobb County somewhere, get him a ranch, and he can live a beautiful life, man. He ain't got to worry about all that. You know what I'm saying? There's places. Look, you can worry about that anywhere. We can worry about that in the DMV.
And they talking about Charlo ducking him. Boy, that man living good. He talking about stepping up.
Hey, Spo J, that's my place.
Ass.
Yeah.
And see, those fights should have happened.
Yeah, Jacobs pussy ass left, but if Charlo was,
because Jacobs knew that Canelo fight was coming.
Yeah, that's why he left. He still was under Al Haymon's management, but he went to the zone to go over here and take that, and that's cool. But Charlo needs to take his the reins on his career because it's slipping away. And I'm not even talking about financial because I don't really care about that shit. I'm talking about just as far as his legacy. Because bro, you're over here whining about Canelo, and we feel you, but it's not gonna happen, bro. I've already said it. Canelo is not some deserved shit. You can't corner Canelo. Either he's fighting you or he's not fighting you. He's publicly said he's not fighting you, and now that he's turned down this much bread, it should be clear that it's not fucking happening.
The day
move on.
The man turned down $100 million would have been the day I will stop mentioning him ever.
Yeah, give it up. Give it up. You shouldn't. I don't ever want to hear Charlo talk about Canelo ever again.
I would
give it up.
Be like, bro. The only thing I'll tell the media is, yo, bro, how can you even?
Hey, look, let me touch on what Tay said. Didn't Laura beat up on Charlo in sparring? Let me say this, bro. First of all, Ezerlanda Lara, a lot of people don't know this, is almost 40 years old.
Yeah. We know.
When he came into that camp,
he probably older, bro.
Olympic gold medalist, The Charlo brothers were teenagers. You ain't beat no Cuban double, Olympic champion in sparring. But I will say this. I hate to say I know for a fact. I know from some guy in Texas that told me. I don't know if it's facts or not. But he said that Laura used to beat up on Jamel, but Jamal always had success against him. I'll put it to you like that.
People used to say that Jamal whooped everybody's ass out there. The only person that Jamal would have to rethink some shit with is EJ. Same goes for Jamel. That's what I heard.
But you know what though? I would love to see, Earl Spence and Jamel fight, and I want to see Jamal fight fight Benavidez and Canelo. And look, while he at it, man, look. Beat up on whoever. Beat up on the best possible guys you can beat up. Munguia, he want the fight, but Golden Boy didn't. So I'm going to tell y'all this. This is a prediction I'm making today. Munguia, when he get the opportunity, is leaving Golden Boy.
Munguia might not even stay at middleweight with how his last weigh in. I don't think
I agree, but he's leaving Golden Boy. I believe that when his contract is up, he's not fighting for Golden Boy anymore. Oscar De La Hoya, I don't know if he back on coke or what, but man, he need to get his thing together. Like look at like you said, Ryan Garcia.
Look, when motherfucking Munguia fought, who it was? I think it was Spike O'Sullivan. He fought.
Oh my fucking
another
God.
Garbage fight.
Those names, Spike O'Sullivan.
Oh my God,
Spike O'Sullivan.
Fucking horrible. He didn't even throw a fucking punch. I don't think.
But yeah, Spike O'Sullivan. No, he threw a punch. So like out of it, he just threw a punch in the air, and it caught Munguia. And Bernard Hopkins and Oscar De La Hoya, you could see it. They on the freeze frame, bro. They fucking jaws dropped. Their eyes got so big. They thought it was over, man. I was like, yo.
Oh, NJMP said Oscar never left the coat.
That's how I knew they weren't trying to put him in there with nobody after that shit. Because that was a punch. And I was like, yo, Charlo hit it with that shit. It's over with.
No, Cozy Rito, no, that's the thing. Golden Boy's roster is not trash. He's just not utilizing the talent to his potential because he's so busy trying to bench all the black fighters and prop up all the non-black fighters. And then the thing is, he's not even letting them get any top shelf smoke. I understand that Golden Boy has an exclusive distribution deal with DAZN. That's whatever. But on the individual fight basis, if it advances your fighter's career, fills their pockets and puts them in situations where they can actually be tested and make a name for themselves, that shit too good to pass up. Munguia is almost 45 fucking fights and didn't accomplish nothing. Blair Koch just got straight up sacrificed to Alex Roca because why? Rashidi Ellis beat up Alex Roca and they needed Alex Roca to look good. And Rashidi Ellis ain't doing shit. Rashidi Ellis and Virgil Ortiz Jr. should have been fought.
What? Hey, well, listen, man. I don't want to go too far off this too, Art, man. But we got to touch on this since we touching on the welterweight division. We got to touch on the big news with Bud.
Oh yeah, my dude Jamil from YSM said that
they're closing a 2-fight deal. Apparently, they're working on it.
Yeah,
Keith Thurman finna get sacrificed.
And look, hold up. This is something that I touched on, and I keep tagging my man. I love my man MVO, but I've been tagging him because I've been making comments. So I heard about 10 minutes of chicken talk, and when they had Bomac on or macaroni and cheese or whatever you want to call it.
Oh damn!
Now, I'm only saying that because of the comment he made. This guy said, we didn't go over there. See, this is how this. I'm gonna say this before I even say what he said. Let me say this. That dude ain't got nothing to do with Bud Crawford's career, man. So I want people to stop it with that.
Oh, shit.
He ain't got nothing to do. Only thing he got to do with Bud Crawford's career is a little bit of training. But at this point, I'm about to give Bud Crawford a lot of love right now. Bud Crawford is winning in spite of them guys training him. That's how great he is. They ain't adding nothing to his career. Bo Mack ain't no genius in training. But let me say this though. Bo Mack said we didn't sign with and this ain't no second hand. This is what I heard him say.
The fuck you talking about?
We did not sign with who they think we should, because I ain't about no we didn't follow all the other black guys. We made our own path. But then 24 hours later, he about to sign a 2-fight deal. So what happened? Why did he come over there with the black folks? And that's what I've been tweeting. I done tweeted it twice today. And I tag MVO and Lazy. I know they don't want to respond because they want the guy to come back on their show. I understand all that. But I went on tag them anyway. Because that's some coon talk right there, man. That's coon talk 101.
First of all,
different.
First of all,
I get it. But go ahead.
What in the hell is he talking about? Bud needs to decide where he's going to fight. Second of all,
Cozy co-sign it.
Right. Second of all, it doesn't matter who you follow or who PBC's primary representatives are. Even though PBC, we've already established, got more Mexican fighters than they do black fighters. That shit don't matter. Apparently, what y'all did, aside from getting the WBO belt, didn't really work because y'all was upset about it and you couldn't get the big fights. So it's not about following some damn body or going along with whatever the crowd says. It's about getting the big fights made. And you did the opposite. You signed with a white dude who has a history of being crooked when it comes to black fighters. And what did it get you? Yeah, and what did it get you? You over here bitching about bread. Talking about, my promoter.
Father, nigga.
Yeah, my promoter didn't do right by me. No shit.
And look, that's why I went on and I tagged y'all in depth. I said you didn't get with the black folks, and you still sued, and you suing the guy right as we speak. You didn't go with the black folks, and see that's something that we should talk about because that's society. The white water is the best water. The white girl is the one that make you feel better.
This is why when I called them Big Mac, niggas got mad. But then I said, when all this was happening, what the fuck was Big Mac doing? Oh, right. He was making sure to secure a stable for himself after Bud gone.
Exactly.
Niggas try to think, you can't call him that.
When I look at Keyshawn Davis, I think of like, damn, it's kind of like Top Rank kind of just like rebirthed another Bud, like super talented Black American fighter.
And Shakur.
Yeah.
That's right, Cozy. They ice colder. But hey, man, like I said, Bud Crawford, he be listening to Bo Mack. He probably, got Bo Mack around because Bo Mack probably looked out for him when he was a child. And you know what I'm saying? And he loved the guy.
Bo Mack do all the boring stuff Terrence Crawford don't have the patience for. All the sitting down and looking over paperwork and making trips to the attorney's office, all the shit that Bud clearly doesn't want to take any time to understand. Bo Mack sit there and do it because we know his big ass can't fight no more. So he got to make sure he know what the business is like so he can secure some shit for himself.
And listen, and ain't nothing wrong with that. That's actually smart because that's pretty much what LeBron James did for his guys. You know what I'm saying? That so that they could get a lane and get their own and not his. But
the difference is LeBron James people understand protocol. They're not.
I won't compare Bo Mack to Rich Paul. I would just say it.
They're not out here running their goddamn mouth, exposing business and talking about some shit that happened 3-4 years ago. Like, man, if you don't shut the hell up with that shit, ain't nobody trying to hear all that. God, I swear, just Bud needs better PR representation. I'm like, Bo Mack, if that's not that's why I even said, I was like, I think that Bud should be present whenever Bo Mack is fucking speaking on his affairs. So Bud can be like, hey, could you stop? Could you stop?
Be on Twitter, none of that shit. Bud,
he said some cool stuff.
Bud
And
got too
this,
many kids to be worried about no damn Twitter. He be chilling.
Yeah, he got
and,
like 6, 7
but
kids.
yeah, right. And like I said, Bo Mac out here talking stupid, and the man, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Oh,
even if
shit.
Bud never signed with PBC or anything, you done sat up here and said we didn't sign with the black guys because we don't roll like that. We don't roll like that.
Man, good thing I
We
wasn't
don't
on
go
that.
with the
I'd be
with
like, yo,
the
what do you mean
flow.
by that? Can you
And,
elaborate,
and then
please?
Bud, and then Bud gonna come out and say, "Oh, well, UK fans are the best fans." So I'm looking at Bomac like, "What the fuck y'all worried about? What we talking about for? Go over there to
Yeah,
UK and see how many tickets you sell.
right.
You
And
goofy
Cozy,
motherfucker."
there you go. Cozy talk about it. He even said something about Spence drinking and stuff. Like I say,
Oh my
man,
god,
hey, buck dancing, man, I ought to get up and do a little buck dance too, because that's what the man was doing. He was buck dancing.
man! I don't.
Boom.
And the thing is, like I said, y'all can call Spence alcoholic and all that shit, but all you're doing is making his accomplishments look better. He's done all this while being irresponsible. Imagine if he was focused. That just means he's making the entire welterweight division look like bitches. Because for a guy who stays in the gym all year, you over here getting touched up by fucking green beans. Yeah, okay.
And check this
Yeah.
out too. Check this out too. You niggas talking about niggas drinking and shit. Y'all say this and then fucking praise Canelo the same fucking with the same breath.
Because he didn't crash his car.
He
Yeah,
didn't crash
no,
his car though.
nobody was hurt. Yeah, no,
You, hey,
Canelo's too
Smart
busy
man, you
killing
should pull
killing
up the
people.
tape of Canelo drinking and saying that crap that day at that
My
party.
Oh,
my
when he
thing
was like,
is
let's fucking party.
Yeah,
my my thing is I say that Errol Spence Jr. in that accident he harmed nobody but himself. Canelo killed the motherfucker on purpose. Who is worse?
also
Oh
too,
yeah, they don't. Oh, D Hive, you being racist when you say shit like that.
Yeah,
the
Canelo intentionally beat a man. I mean, you could argue, oh, it was just sparring. He beat a man to death.
What you sparring a 40-year-old for?
Bro,
and one that started his career at 126, Javier Hargi. You can look him up. He was a career featherweight, junior lightweight. He won a world title, but he was a guy like Orlando Salido. He
And he
had like
was loved
double
by the
digit
people of the
losses,
community.
but he got in a lot of wars. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
yeah.
But
Spence killed nobody. Canelo murdered a former
and,
fucking
and,
featherweight.
and look, Spence almost
Murder.
killed himself. But K Rod make a good point when he says something about Victor Conti talking about Ugas and Spence not having the drug testing, and Ugas got Memo, who is a known, you know what I'm saying, for having drugs with the Olympics and stuff like that.
I saw that.
PEDs. But let me say something though
I don't
about
know
that.
why they wouldn't have drug testing for this fight
But let
specifically.
me say, Victor Conti is right, but he's only saying it because of one thing. He's down with VADA. People got to understand these guys are promoting VADA because they got an interest, a financial interest in VADA. Look, it's a lot of sports that do drug PED testing. They don't use VADA.
Yeah, they use
VADA only
USADA.
be used in boxing. They can use anybody. They don't
They
have
can
to just use VADA.
They could use USADA. They could use
Yeah.
a
WADA.
local, like a lot of U.S. Olympians use the labs at UCLA.
Right.
And
Yeah, so they don't.
I've also heard that even if they not in VADA or whatever, they still have to take a state test, piss test.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
they
the
do.
commission, but the commissions are much less reliable. You slide them some cheese, and next thing
Yeah,
you know, fucking samples
Right.
come up missing. Look at Dillian White and Povetkin's bitch asses.
Hey,
yeah.
they passed the guy that was
Next thing you know,
HIV
gloves from
positive
bent
before
back.
me, and so you know.
Next you know, fucking Ugas gonna be like, oh, my sample, one of my samples, my C sample, my D sample went missing. Oh well, that happens, but the Cuban Revolution is
Yeah.
freedom, so we need to have the fight. Like, nigga, shut the fuck up with all that weak shit.
Yeah.
Before I go get Stan Jonas and have him put his fucking hands on you, bitch ass.
Yeah, man.
Man, I want fucking Yugas to get smashed, bro.
Real
I really
talk.
do.
He been talking big shit lately.
Like, yeah, like I ain't gonna lie. I'm on my national shit when it comes to this fight. I don't give a fuck what nobody talk about.
And Art Man, you and me were the only ones going super hard saying he shouldn't have to fight Stanionis. And this bitch ass
Yeah,
motherfucker turning around talking shit about Spence, talking shit about Gary Russell,
yeah,
talking shit
all
about
that shit.
Boots. I'm like, man, you know what? Fuck that. You talking big shit. And win or lose, nigga, before you retire, you better fight Boots since you want to talk
Bro,
shit.
Boots will fuck. Bro, I finally watched Yugas versus Amir Imam today, and I said, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, dude. I think Spence, this fight went from like being a 50-50 to like a 70-30 in my eyes, stylistically. And I know you say he got better, but I'm just thinking like, dude, like just that jab alone was giving that dude problems, giving him problems, and then he was working them with the defense too. Even though he was getting caught a little bit, he was still working. They
My
would
fault,
use
guys.
angles on him.
Messing with that dog. But yeah, man.
But
You
yeah,
know
I was
what?
talking about the
Okay.
Yugas versus Amir Imam fight. I just watched that.
Which Amir Imam and Ugas?
Yeah,
Hey,
Amir Imam is actually talented. I don't know why he hasn't moved up in weight yet.
what you know what Amir Imam issue is? First of all, he was
That's like
training with them
140.
guys from Florida, and that weren't real trainers. And the second thing about Amir Imam is you're right. He need to move up in weight, and Imam has a confidence issue. When you put pressure on him, he folds. But
he
as
wasn't
far
folding that Yugas fight.
That's real shit.
Oh, well, Ugas won't do no pressure. Ugas try to box. And that's what Ugas is going to do with Earl Spence. When Earl come forward, listen, man, it
He
ain't
gonna
too many
shell up.
Cubans that are aggressive.
Besides
He's
Dave
going to try
Morrell
to
Jr.
box.
Dave Morrell is still trying to counter punch. Well, he's good.
Well, David Morrell big as hell. So I mean, these most Cubans are not built like that. David Morrell is like he's big as shit.
Damn,
But
he just
I was
got
watching
an
the Mirror
undercard.
Mom. I was watching the Mirror Mom versus Jose Ramirez, and I was like, damn, the Mirror
He was
Mom
getting off on him,
he's
right?
putting in work on this dude. That's why I said I was like, God, like Jose Ramirez is mediocre as fuck. Like I swear.
Yep.
He fucking slept took her. Y'all just goaded that man off of nothing. I'm like, oh my God. Jose Ramirez is the
And then
second
y'all
coming
golden
of
hooker off that too.
right. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? All these mediocre ass niggas who haven't put in a lick of work. I'm just like, bro, like, get these motherfuckers out of here, bro.
Hey, that movie last night was funny as shit. Great White Hype. Keep on bringing it up because there was one situation where he was like, they said the boxing right. He asked, how did this fighter get in the rankings? And he ain't never had a fight. He said, oh, his amateur record. I said, oh my God,
Sound like
what the
Lomachenko, right?
fuck?
I was saying, bro, this shit isn't new.
And hey, how about in the movie, the white guy was trying to downplay the racism, and the fans were going hard in the racism, and he was like, "No, I'm not talking about that." And they were like, "Yes, you are,
Yeah.
you black monkey." You know what I'm saying? So the fans were bringing the racism where the fighter was trying to downplay it. Hey,
Exactly.
yeah, I told you
He said,
that's
I'm going
one of
for the
the.
clean. She said she put her money on the clean cut white boy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he was,
Man, that's the best boxing movie that I saw, and
that's what I
also the
said. I
most
said, man,
realistic.
I ain't gonna lie, I said this because it shows you, even though it's supposed to be satire or whatever, it's the closest to what actually goes on in boxing,
Mm-hmm.
rather than these movies like Southpaw and
Yeah.
Creed and shit.
Shout out Samuel Jackson and what's my
Damon
man?
Wayans.
Yeah, and Damon Wayans, man. Them guys put on a heck of a performance, man. I don't know the white guy, but he did a good job too to be in the Great White Hype. He did a real good job.
And then he fucking Samuel, he was pointing at the Spanish dude that was supposed to be like the Mauricio Silverman type of character. He said uncorruptible. Yeah, right. Yeah, this nigga. But anyways, dude, Canelo versus Bivol. I actually want to see that fight, but if it gets scrapped, I don't know, man. Canelo versus John Ryder, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be
They
upset
bet
either.
not.
Knockout.
They
It's gonna be a
bet not.
knockout. It's probably gonna be a funny fight.
I'm
It's
throwing.
gonna be non-competitive.
I'm throwing Canelo whole career. I mean, it was already kind of headed there, but I'm throwing Canelo in the garbage. If that's a situation where you just don't need to fight, you need to fight somebody else or not fight wait till the shit get cleared, or just fight somebody else, or take the Charlo deal, fucking something. And you know what bothers me about this whole thing?
He fighting Ryder.
And you know what bothers me about this whole fucking thing? He fucking waited until Russia made their move to pick Bivol. I'm like,
because he know it's gonna get scrapped. Listen, man, the commissions, like Las Vegas, is where the fight gonna be, right? Las Vegas is one of those places that is political. So they're gonna be like, wait, people gonna be like, Nevada, y'all actually gonna let a Russian guy fly in from Moscow to fight here? They're gonna be like, nah, we gonna, they'll come to Eddie Hearn or to Canelo and say, well, it's not the best look. They'd be like, oh, well, Ryder's 6 weeks into camp anyway. See what I'm saying?
And he's already
it's going down.
He literally said he's fucking fought Jacobs, took like a week and a half, 2 weeks off, and then started a full camp. I'm like,
absolutely.
You
John Ryder.
You see the play? You see the play though?
Bitch.
Yep.
God, I can't stand these two, bro. Throw Canelo in the fucking garbage. Throw Canelo in the garbage.
People thought I was crazy, but nobody was really saying like, "Oh, Art, man, you tripping?" Because they're like, "Man, I don't know, man."
No,
man, you was 100% on that one.
They tried to justify it. They were like, "Well, it's better than Selecki." I'm like, "Nigga, no, it's not."
Yeah,
no, it's worse.
Look. I literally posted for DAZN. I did them a favor service. I said, asking for DAZN, is John Ryder a good replacement fighter? And people were saying, well, it's better than Selecki. And I said, oh, there you have it.
And it's not. John Ryder has 5 losses to fucking the 2 of them are to decent people, and I think the other 3 are to some garbage. Selecki's only lost to Jacobs and Andrade. And the thing is, John Ryder's been knocked out. Selecki has never been knocked out. All of his fights have been fucking mostly competitive, and he's never been slumped. So he's literally not better than fucking Selecki. So the fact that they even tried to make that argument makes them look stupid.
Selecki beat John Ryder up.
Man, fucking that's the kind of fight where if Boots wanted to just randomly take a fight at super middleweight, yeah, he can go up there and fucking wash John Ryder's stupid ass.
Yeah, definitely.
Easy.
Definitely. Not even a problem.
Oh, Cozy Rito, yeah, I agree,
Weight
bro.
wouldn't even matter. That's the type of style it.
Dude,
Canelo probably go fucking 7 rounds with this nigga.
Man, fuck that. Let me meet John Ryder at a catchweight of 185, and I'll put my fucking money. I'll whoop his ass.
But like, Danny Jacobs, they keep on saying, well, Danny Jacobs, and I said, oh shit. They said he has a better win over Charlo and Andre because he beat Danny Jacobs by robbery.
See, but content is when you beat a guy, man. It's when you beat a guy. If he beat Danny Jacobs, like I said, 7 years ago, when he was fighting Triple G and all that, I'd have said, oh yeah, that was a good win. But come on, man. You talking about Danny Jacobs now?
And he didn't even win. He didn't
win, right. And they robbed him.
It was a robbery. He didn't even win.
Yeah. But George Kambosos, I still, again, 2 things. I don't think the fight gonna happen, but if it do, I'm gonna be happy for him. But the second thing is, come on, Devin Haney. What you got that scrub in your corner, man? Like, come off it, man.
Wait, you talking about Ben Davison?
Yeah, man. Hey, look, man, I just got to call it. I mean, this is just going to sound bad, but I got to call it, man. Come on, Devin. You're doing some cooning, bro. You messing with all these white guys, man. Come on, man. I got to call it, man. Stop, man. Stop.
What is he seeing Ben Davison?
I mean, he got Ben Davison, he got Eddie Hearn, and his father talking about busting caps and black guys that say they're gonna fight Eddie Hearn. Like, come on, man, that's cooning. Like, there ain't nothing else to it, bro. That's cooning.
Mickey Bay is his primary trainer, though.
Man, I saw Ben Davison. I seen Ben Davison in that corner. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what the fuck.
And Mickey Bay Mickey Bay talking about fighting Tevin Farmer. So he ain't gonna be training. You know what I'm saying? He fighting himself.
No,
like
Mickey
I say,
Bay,
man.
Mickey Bay
who taught Devin Haney how to box? Floyd Mayweather Sr.
Yeah, it was. Well, yeah, it was in the Mayweather camp when he was. He's been in there since he was a child, and he only separated after he got more serious about his pro career.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you again, man. Floyd Mayweather Sr., even at this advanced age,
This nigga
I would
said Pete
trust my
Davidson.
career in his hands than Ben Davis. Ben Davidson ain't never fought.
Ben
this,
Davidson,
this
he
nigga
fought
said
with
Pete
Tyson
Davidson.
Fury. He fought with Tyson Fury.
Pete Davidson,
He started getting cold feet. They kicked him out the camp.
Man, I'm
Now he over here
for
training
real,
Devin
man.
Haney.
Man, Devin, you starting to disappoint me, bro. I gotta be honest, man.
That shit
I like
funny as
Devin Haney,
fuck.
man.
This
I
nigga
really
said
do.
Pete
I
Davidson.
believe in the dream.
Man.
He got to show us something.
Oh shit,
Man.
But no, I agree. I agree with Julius that the fight's not on because my thing is, where the fuck did people can talk about Pro Bellum all they want, but the thing is, we have no details of the contract. We got no fucking. We have a proposed fight date that keeps switching between June 4th and June 5th. They claim it's in Australia. We don't have a specific location in Australia. We don't have a network. We don't have a number. We're not. They're not even sure. Look, Cambosis is talking about Devin Haney.
Devin Haney got to get three of the jabs.
Well, but damn that, Cambosis is talking about he got 3 days to sign. They're not even sure. They're not even sure about the rematch clause yet. So what the fuck is he signing?
Who requested a rematch clause?
It's Cambosis. You know he
man,
won't.
This stuff is crazy, man.
Him and DeBella want 2 paydays, bro. So you know they want 2 fights because they don't expect Cambosis to win.
And hey, here he is again. Devin Haney is how old?
24, 23, 24.
22, 23. Here's another thing. He ain't fought in a long time now. And it ain't, and we don't know when he gonna fight again.
Okay, well, come on now, Julius. You know why that is, niggas.
Yeah, I got you. I'm just saying.
Don't do that.
I got you, but he's too young to be on the shelf waiting for these garbage fights. This is even though it's for undisputed, it's a garbage fight. Cambosis to me is a journeyman, an undefeated journeyman. Trust me, once he get beat, you're going to see him lose again. He might win 2, then lose 2. Watch. That's how it's going to go, bro.
I've already seen Cambosis lose. Cambosis lost
to Mickey Day.
And Selby.
Yeah, right. At least Selby. Exactly.
Even the announcers were like, oh, we're not sure about that decision. I'm like, yeah, because this nigga lost.
Hey, but I'm going back to what I said, though, man. Man, William Haney, please, come on, brother. You and come on, man. Come on, Devin. Davidson.
Davidson. Stop it, because I have an uncle.
They love white boys, man. I gotta get to them. They love white boys.
Because I have an uncle named William, and I call him Uncle Will.
Julius.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Art.
About it, man. You haven't seen the type of paper Eddie Hearn and them was putting in Bill Haney's pockets, so it makes you feel a certain type.
It's like that ice is colder with the white folks. We have all seen the type of money that Al Heyman have put into people's pockets all races. And it's more than Eddie Hearn has put in anybody's pocket.
Eddie Hearn giving you easier tasks, though.
Yeah, I agree with that part.
Yeah, they're going to be like
getting easier task, but I'm just saying
they're gonna be like, Devin Haney, we're gonna need you to fight El Rayo in a trilogy for $15.75.
Yeah, I mean, hey, but you know what though, Art, man? All good things come to an end. So you know it's right now, but what happens when DAZN, who's charging people pay-per-views now, trying to justify pay-per-views by bringing up PBC pay-per-views, they're gonna stop. Look, it ain't none of my business. I'm not paying Devin. But in my opinion, I don't think that DAZN is going to continue to pay it.
Because they're going to be like, who the hell can we put you on the fight?
Right.
Yeah. They talking about, it's funny because when they were going about that, I heard William Zepeda's name, and then I was like, okay, cool, make the fight. And then they had to reassess, and they backed up off that shit quick. That was like, yeah, especially after William Zepeda last fight, they're like, shit, they'll go in there and get washed. So,
they look like straight hot garbage. Another Golden Boy sensation.
Does
Yeah,
Zone don't
so
even have the power to even force these fighters to fight?
yeah, they can't even scrap each other. Like, bro, fucking
Yeah.
Conor Ben and fucking Virgil Ortiz Jr. should be some easy shit to make. Should be
Yeah.
easy, but
These
they'll
niggas had all the middleweights. They could have made a fucking. He could have had
A
undisputed
tournament.
at. He could have had undisputed at middleweight, all on the same DAZN platform. Canelo, who I'm referring to.
Yeah, man. But like I said, man, I just can't get off the William Haney situation because they will come on black, platforms and give an interview, but they ain't dealing with black folks. Just look at the man trajectory of his career. You know what I'm saying? He should be fighting in front of black audience. You know what I'm
just
saying? All
just
over the place. That's
just to
all I'm
play
saying, man. And we
just
are here talking about a Cambosis fight that we all will agree that it's about to move into April in a couple of days. You
And
know what I'm
fucking
saying?
George Kambosos fought Tio in November.
right.
Right.
But just to be devil's advocate here, I'm not. I'm because I've seen this kind of people and I've seen this kind of experience. If Devin Haney, because you know how, with all due respect, you know how black people are when it comes to other black people, they feel that if you haven't been through any form of adversity, they look at you a certain way and they deal with you a certain way and they move a certain way. I'm not going to justify what's currently happening, and I'm not gonna try to justify what you said, what you've described as cooning. But however, if because of their lifestyle, if they've experienced this constant hate from niggas, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of understand why they're trying to put some distance.
Bro,
I'm not saying it's conducive to Devin Haney's career or the right move. I'm just saying psychologically, if they keep getting that trauma, I get it. It's just
and
He
so,
kind of got a blessing
but
in the
here go
curse,
the
Devin
thing.
Haney.
This is the one thing that a lot of black folks don't get. And sometimes they get it. Just because white folks ain't lynching you, don't mean that they are with you. Just
100%.
because a person put a check in your hand, don't mean that they love you. And
Yeah,
I'm not saying that it's anything wrong. It's almost like I understand, but I don't understand because part of what I'm talking about, it had nothing to do with hate because he was taken up for Eddie Hearn. No one was talking about Bill Haney. They wasn't talking about Devin Haney. They said something about Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, I smacked your face. And the man started talking about shooting the black guy. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm
You
talking
talking
about.
about
And
Ellerby, right?
also, Ben Davison is a garbage trainer.
But
He doesn't train. He can't get no love for Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was a ready. Tyson Fury's older than him. So how he trained and led Tyson Fury to anything?
he didn't
and
The
let
lead
man's
Tyson
older.
Fury. Tyson
and
Fury was trying to do. He was doing this cheating shit. And Ben Davison wasn't with it, so he got
Right. I'm
and
just
shot
Ty-
it
saying
down.
exactly.
and
And
Tyson Fury left his ass once his career got
and,
good.
and here's the thing with Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor just put on a piss poor performance, with Ben Davison. And as a matter of fact, people say that Devin didn't look that great in that fight with Ben Davison in the corner. So
People have
I
been
don't
talking.
understand why
People, people,
stick with this guy. That's
people have
all
been
I'm saying.
people have been talking shit about Devin before
Yeah,
Ben
I
Davidson was
got you,
even
but
in the picture.
I got you. But I'm just saying the
Oh,
guy
hold
adds
on. I wanted to
nothing to
speak
your
on.
career.
I wanted to speak on D Hive's point when you
Yeah.
said that that certain people in the community may not view Haney a certain type of way because
Because
he's
look at
not.
your experience on Twitter, Art Man. Look at your experience on Twitter. We have been talking about that for the longest time. Of all the people on Twitter not making any moves, working their ass off for $0 in return, they try to target and eliminate the one guy actually getting bread. You know what I'm talking about, bro.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But when it comes to Devin Haney, though, even though I got hate from certain people in the community, I got a lot of hate from people. I got a lot of love from people in the community. A lot of our customers are black. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just those guys on Twitter. There's more people that would fuck with Devin Haney. I feel like he just got to have the right type of like personality to resonate with the people. But I feel like he got a blessing and a curse because he grew up in that environment where he's just boxing and money. It's like
Right.
he missed the experience of
The
having
black
the
experience.
crew of homeboys sitting on the motherfucking
Mm-hmm.
electricity post outside. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Getting in
saying?
trouble,
Getting in
fighting
trouble,
the
scraping
other
your knees.
blocks, the other blocks kids and shit.
Yeah,
And
shit. He missed that
right.
experience, so he can't really connect with
and
those with that
and and
crowd.
and also he missed just hey, your uncle. Like, I'm not saying that he doesn't have these type of relationships, but
And I'm
I
not
don't
saying he
think it's
gotta
to the
strive for that
degree.
type of shit. I'm
Right,
just saying like
like
he
your
don't got
uncle
it.
sitting, yeah, like you sit around and you hear people talking about a game and they going crazy and they playing spades and they
Yeah.
having a cookout, just all type of stuff. Like, he was deprived of that. Even Floyd Mayweather talked about being deprived of stuff like that, because a lot of people don't realize, during his career, he struggled with the black fan. That's why he say the Mexican fans are the best fans, because the guy struggled with identifying. That's why he loved Adrian Broner so much, because Adrian Broner is hood. Adrian Broner is everything, and Tank Davis is everything that these guys wish they were, as far as I'm talking about from a cultural
Like
standpoint.
I
You know
but
what I'm saying?
I remember seeing Floyd Mayweather like on the Rap City and shit like that, and trying to be around, trying to be in
Right.
music videos and shit like that. But I feel like that's why he had 50 Cent around.
Right.
Yeah.
See, those guys went through the experience, and I call it the black experience, man. We
But
can
Floyd
identify.
Mayweather, he been through some shit. His pops, was on that shit. And moms, you
Well,
know what
Yeah,
I'm
well,
saying?
Floyd Mayweather's
Floyd
from
was selling,
a shitty part of Michigan.
Yeah.
He
but
been had that
hey,
experience.
Floyd didn't have it to that degree. He did have his father went to prison, but y'all have to understand, Roger Mayweather was a world champion when Floyd was a little boy.
Right,
I don't.
but I mean, what wasn't his dad on like some gangster
No,
shit?
his dad was selling drugs and fighting. When his fight game went down, he was selling drugs,
He
and,
said,
That's
and
"Fuck
he
it."
was. So they were
that's
they
what I
were on the
mean.
money thing. Hey, look, you
Yeah,
know,
Floyd grew up in the trap, so he should
hey,
he had credentials.
William Haney.
Y'all
I don't
niggas
even know
just
where
call him
Will. I
William.
don't even know where them dudes came from. Like they
Hey,
just
let
popped
me
up
tell you
one day.
this. I'll give you an example. Art Man, when you get a chance, pull up Jeff Mayweather and Bill Haney, and you'll understand some things, and you will see some things about Bill Haney past, or and da 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 da. Just pull that up.
Bill
When
Haney was trapping.
when Bill Haney threatened um, Jeff Mayweather, and Jeff Mayweather did an open letter because he was afraid for his life. And it was probably like 10, 15 years ago. And Bill was the head of a boxing gym called the Hit Factory. And at the Hit Factory in Vegas, you had Zab Judah, Hassan Rahman, a whole lot of guys, a whole lot of fighters that was there that used to use their gym. Devin was a little boy then, probably 6, 7 years old. So go and read that, man.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, okay. Okay,
yeah, I'll
so
check it out.
Bill Haney's on some Debo shit. All right,
And like I said, man, I don't want to touch on, what I'm saying, that the world. I just give it to you. Go read it. Jeff Mayweather, Bill Haney. And it's a whole, he wrote a transcript, you know what I'm saying? Almost like a deposition.
and
Oh
honestly,
shit.
I can appreciate what's necessary about interacting with the culture to get black support. I really can. But the thing is, one thing I don't like is, especially when you talk about Tank's past, I don't like that a lot of people that can identify with the culture need that hood verification. And it just gets on my nerves because I'm always thinking to myself, I'm like, no, y'all don't understand. But that's not the culture. That's your circumstances. That's not the culture. Black kids are supposed to be wealthy. Black kids are supposed to grow up in good neighborhoods. Black kids are not supposed to be doing a lot of that shit. Now, is it circumstantial? Have 9 out of 10 black boys seen some stuff that they're not supposed to? Yes. Have they been overly matured? Yes. Does Tank have the typical backstory you can sell on HBO? Yes. But however, I don't think that any particular black fighter should need that shit. Look at Earl Spence.
But
I
That nigga ain't
agree,
got no hood past.
that is the circumstance that we.
Let me tell you, the guys
Go
like
ahead.
Errol Spence is perfect. D High.
Yep.
You know why? Because even though he is not what you say all the way hood and street or whatever. He do got a hood pass because he's been around those people. He's been around the hoods
Well,
of
cause
Dallas or
Blu-ray,
whatever. Huh?
cause
Because
Blu-ray,
of
Blu-ray
Blu-ray.
giving some gangster
Nah,
shit.
nah, I'm gonna keep it 100 because I grew up around that area. Man, over there, man, Dallas, they don't play, man. And Errol Spence being involved with that, just seeing those folks or just knowing about it, being around it, he
I
has that pass. I mean, he has that hood pass.
I
He's
actually
not no
think
like
that
dude that's some square dude that just never been around the block. Oh, he been around.
No,
Re-
no, I wouldn't
bro,
say he was
I
square.
actually think that Roy Jones is one of the greatest stories, and I'll tell you why. Because he grew up on a farm and he still identified with everybody because we saw that Roy Jones would get down and dirty. We see he would get down and dirty, but I think that people identify with Roy because he was country, because your grandmama, your granddaddy, probably 9 times out of 10 came from Mississippi, came from North
yeah,
Carolina, came from Tennessee, somewhere like that,
You
and they
mean
could identify with him.
you mean Roy
And
Jones that currently has Russian citizenship? Roy Jones.
but I'm talking
mhm,
about Roy Jones 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? These guys get into the political game when they finish, and you know what I'm saying? We find out things about him. But during his career, that's what identified Roy Jones with people. Like
Nah,
if you talk to old heads, 40 and above, 35 and above, the one thing that everyone talks about is Roy Jones identified with everybody on every level, and he grew up on a farm because of just the way he was. He also rapped. And look, the South, look at the South rappers. You know what I'm saying? The hood, a lot of times in the South, might have been a dirt road, might have been a trailer park. So the hoods don't all look the same everywhere. Like in South Central or LA, yeah, it's the street, and you know what I'm saying, and it's the whatever. But you might go into the South, you might be in Atlanta somewhere. Back in the day, not now, but back in the day, you might be in a hood in Atlanta, and you know what I'm saying, you're on a dirt road. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So that's all I'm saying is
I'm
that
just
people just could identify with guys in all, and that's going back to what you were saying, that you don't have to come from, the standard living in the projects, you know what I'm saying, or living in a row house like Tank Davis, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just being an asshole, but the truth of the matter is that Roy Jones only because a lot of people gave him shit about that. But the fact of the matter is that y'all know how Europe is always behind the times, like 10, 15 years when it comes to American music. Roy
Mhm.
Jones went over there not only to train some people, but because over there his music go hard. Like he be selling like all his old shit where his music videos was corny as fuck. He sell a lot of that shit over there.
You're right. I mean, and where else? And even when Roy was in his prime, the only song that anybody knew was "Y'all Must Have Forgot," and that was because HBO played it. And I
Right.
don't think I ever heard anybody playing it on in their radio or in the car. I don't think I ever heard it.
Well, now his most popular song is "Can't Be Touched." I remember I was watching
I never even heard of it.
yeah,
didn't the
can't
Russian
be moved, can't be stopped.
did,
I was like,
did,
oh
did,
shit.
didn't the Russian dude literally come out to that song like recently,
Oh,
I
like
think
really?
so. I
on
think
the
so.
zone
Yeah.
car? I'm
That's
telling
crazy.
you, man. But Roy Jones secretly getting money
Hey,
on
Roy
y'all
Jones
ass.
is in
Y'all
the
don't even know.
Matrix. Yeah.
Hey, but look, guys, I gotta roll, man. It was good talking to y'all, man.
Yeah,
All right,
no
for
problem,
sure.
man.
Have a good one, Julius.
All right, brothers.
Yeah, but no, ever since that Mike Tyson fight, man, Roy Jones been secretly getting money on y'all ass. Y'all don't even know. Roy Jones getting money like a motherfucker.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, he moving a lot of weight. Lay pipe on. Oh hell no, I don't know about that shit.
Right. I
But
ain't researching either.
yeah, I don't want to see Roy Jones fucking, but I know that he was talking to like this boxing commissioner lady, and then he gave her a hug, and then the lady said, "Oh, some people might tell us to get a room," and Roy Jones was like, "Ain't nothing wrong with it," and then everyone was like, "Oh yeah, he hit that ass." They're like,
Yeah,
"Yeah."
I'd be careful, nigga. I wouldn't say shit. They'd might try to me too a nigga.
That's true. I would hope not. Now that Roy Jones is back to getting like noticeable money, he training Chris Eubank Jr. and all that. And although he has made some remarkable improvements with Chris Eubank has already been he'd already been spoiled. Like a lot of his boxing career was spent in the UK under UK tutelage, so you could only make so many improvements. But I think Roy Jones should reach out to some more American talent. I think he could really add some stuff to other people's games. I think that's awesome.
Eubank Jr. His ass fucking his best win to me was to Gale.
Shit, to
He
me,
flipped that nigga over.
his best win is Yo Durham to me when he smoked him in 3 rounds.
Nobody's saying, damn, Chris Eubank Jr. beat fucking Eardrum faster than Canelo.
No, because everyone knows Yo Durham ain't shit. Everyone knows Yo Durham's
Oh
garbage.
shit, what's going on?
He said, "Cry hates elite fighters."
But I thought Crowd was going to join too.
Hey, no, hold on. He might join. He might join. But Bud, man, hold on. Somebody said something about you think Keith Thurman getting sacrificed to Bud? D-Hop?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they was talking about. Keith Thurman talking about he won another title opportunity. He was talking about how he wants to fight in June or July. Bud is also a 2-fight deal with the PBC fighting in June. I mean, come on. They were fattening
Bro,
they were fattening Thurman up to sacrifice his ass.
what if Keith Thurman won by knockout?
That would be boy.
I don't care. Errol versus fucking Thurman will still be a good fight to me.
Especially with the horrible backstory, Errol Spence would want to beat his ass. They're like, I cannot believe this is how this shit gonna end. Me and you, oh my god, I can't wait.
It's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
beat
so
the
much
shit
of
out
a
of you.
backstory too, because they've been talking shit to each other for a long time now.
Them press conferences gonna be biblical. It just sucks. It just sucks that Errol Spence don't talk that much. He just goes, yeah, I'm gonna come in there.
I think he
I'm
would
gonna
talk
knock
a
you
lot.
out.
In the Keith Thurman versus Errol fight, I think he would talk a lot more than the Bud versus Errol, because I feel like they'll be too more. I feel like Bud versus Errol, they'll be too respectful towards each other.
But fortunately, that's probably not gonna happen because Bud is gonna beat the living shit out of Keith Thurman. I really don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be interesting
Man,
for
you
the first.
sleeping on Keith Thurman? Let him get them. Let him get them 8-ounce gloves. He might
I ain't,
rock Bud shit.
I ain't sleeping
Like
on Keith Thurman.
Look, if Mean Machine could touch Bud up, I'd be sleeping on Thurman Power, dude.
I'm not sleeping on Thurman Power. I just think he's gonna get done up. That's all. Especially with how soft he is to the body.
Oh yeah, then the
Not
Thurman,
only that, I might just be by myself on this, but I think Marine Machine would knock out Keith Thurman.
nigga, fuck you.
I don't know about
Nigga, I
that.
just seen Mean Machine versus Virgil Ortiz. That nigga's fucking dumpster juice, nigga.
Man, he put Ortiz down. They didn't even count it.
Yeah,
He
he
put
put
him down.
Ortiz down. He could have
You
finished
put his ass
Ortiz high
down.
key, but this nigga started throwing all wild ass looping punches. Like he could have, bro. He literally could have been patient and shot that shit the same way Bud knocked him out. He could have knocked Ortiz out if he been patient, but he don't got the skills to do that.
I'm not gonna say Mean Machine wouldn't be a tough fight for Keith Thurman. I mean, of course, it's boxing, so I always say anybody can beat anybody, really, if you really want to break it down. But I don't think because Mean Machine has the same stationary problem that Virgil Ortiz does, and that he doesn't really move his head that much. So I think he'd probably catch one of Keith Thurman's like weird corkscrew uppercuts that he's been working on out of nowhere, and then that would drop him back some. I think it'd probably go to distance, but I don't think he'd be able to like smoke Keith Thurman like that. If he gets
I think Keith Thurman can stop him with them gloves.
I don't know, man. Keith Thurman seemed like he ain't got his power no more.
Are
yeah,
you nuts? That nigga rearranged Barrio's face. He would have stopped his ass if they let him
That's
use them 8-ounce
Barrios though.
gloves.
And my thing is that was I like people was praising for that to me. That was a shit performance. Like this dude came up from 140 to fight you. He
Man,
just got
look,
stopped by a motherfucking lightweight. You can't put the motherfucker down?
Keith Thurman.
I agree. It was booty.
You think Keith Thurman beat Sean Porter better than Errol Spence did? Or am I tripping?
Yeah, I think he did for that time based on how he fought him.
Yeah.
I definitely think he did. I think he landed more clean shots. I think he was able to control distance better because he wasn't like Errol Spence was entertaining all that pocket shit. Keith Thurman was like, nah, I'm gonna back on up and hit you clean. So I definitely think he did, but I'm not gonna lie with the Barrios situation. He looked washed, and he's supposed to look washed. The nigga had 2 years off. Yeah, he looked washed.
Y'all
But
think
not
he looked-
only that,
Nah,
that Sean
I
Porter
gotta
fight
disagree,
changed
y'all.
Keith Thurman's
I
life.
actually like that fight from Keith Thurman and Barrios.
No, I'm not saying.
I
I'm not
ain't
saying.
gonna lie. He did look a little rusty. I'm gonna keep it honey.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna sit there and say Keith Thurman didn't whoop his ass. He did whoop his ass, but the thing is, he's supposed to, and he looked a little washed doing it. That's all I'm saying.
He looked like a straight up veteran whooping. I kind of felt bad for Barrios after a while.
Yeah,
I ain't
Barrios
gonna lie. I
didn't have
thought
that much
Barrios was
success.
finna KO him late from the way the fight was looking. I said, keep him finna
Yeah,
stop.
you and Crod, nigga.
Yeah, I picked Keith Thurman to win by majority decision or split decision. But yeah, no, I honestly thought Barrios was gonna put in more work. He got his ass whooped.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, never been nobody.
Crod had that nigga. Crod had Barrios by knockout.
I
Yeah.
cried, man. Cried.
Crowd was like, Keith Thurman's gonna get slept. I was like, man, if you don't calm down. You said Keith Thurman is Paulie Malignaggi. I was like, oh my god, this nigga's crazy.
But yeah, Bud versus Keith Thurman, I'm with it, bro. Y'all
Yeah,
think I can
Keith,
sell? Y'all think I can sell some t-shirts of that?
'Nah,
hundred
you know what
percent.
it probably happened?
You can move some Bud merch.
Because I don't people think people really see what's finna happen. Earl finna have two mandatories. So that's what Bud probably gonna have to take care of one of the mandatories for him.
Wait,
Probably.
that's a thing.
Yeah, he's finna have to have in his mandatory for the IBF, he's gonna have to have the standing on this versus Butai one as mandatory as well. So
But
What
I'm
if
Bud
saying
might
what if Bud washed boots?
that's good for Bud. That's a Canelo level victory.
Nah, this
Well,
nigga black. It didn't matter because I told you he was overrated anyway. You heard what Sean Porter said.
nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna give Bud full credit. But the thing is also, but Midwest, if Bud is with the WBO, so you're saying that he would just make a. I mean, I guess you couldn't get a Mando position off a loss, but that's something that Bud is willing to do, or that's something that's going to happen.
it might if he want the Spence fight, if it happens soon, because if not, he'd be waiting 3 fights.
Hmm. Well, yeah, because I don't think that Stanionis Bute. I definitely don't think that Stanionis to take step aside money. I think Bute would probably take step aside money, but not Stanionis if he win. That's one reason why I think he's gonna win. Because Stanionis is managed by Probellum, same as Bud. But hey, if Stanionis were to win and Bud, I mean Bud's not managed by Probellum, but he's managed by DK, so that could work out. But Bud should fight fucking Thurman or Boots or fucking or like you said, one of the WBA people.
Bud should fight motherfucking
Sure, full Virgil Ortiz,
he should
punk ass
no
and
no
half.
he should because I'm thinking about the PBC roster. He should fight Keith Thurman and then fight Earl Spence. But if he got to fight somebody before Earl Spence, he should fight Josecito Lopez.
Man, Jose Lopez got a fight coming up.
I
Yeah,
know he could fight the winner of that fight.
Oh my god, I ain't trying to see that weak shit. I was trying to put. I'm so sick of Josecito Lopez still getting fights. That shit is so fucking annoying.
Nigga, he's Riverside Rocky. Of course he getting fights, nigga.
Man, fuck him, man. Riverside. Riverside fucking sucks. I used to live close to
Riverside,
there.
if Riverside, New York.
No, Riverside, like LA County.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, nah, like
I thought it
regular
was
ass.
like Riverside, motherfucker. You know, like Tupac.
No, Riverside
Oh.
is just a place with a high population of Hispanic individuals. A lot of them with questionable citizenship, but you know we're gonna leave that. We're gonna leave that for another show. But yeah, but yeah, no, that's what he's talking about. He's talking about Riverside.
Okay. Shit. What's up, Crod?
Yo,
We was just talking about you, man.
Hey,
yeah.
Crowd, you Puerto Rican or Dominican?
I'm black and Puerto Rican.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah, yeah.
Keith
So
never
I was
KO
like,
anybody elite.
Yeah.
That's facts. I mean, no one said he did.
Hey, Crod, are you a Berlanga fan?
no,
Why not, bro?
because he's a fucking bum, man.
Oh damn. Well,
He said he's trying to restore that Puerto Rican feeling, though. You ain't trying to back him or what? That's
oh
fucked up.
shit. Ryan O'Hara's in the chat. Check it out.
Ryan O'Hara.
Yeah, he writes for one of the magazines, I think.
Bro said, not so fast. What's going on, Jets? Oh, yeah, man. On Saturday, I'm going to that fight, man.
Brian Custer gonna cop some merch apparently.
Yeah, oh,
What
yeah.
fight this Saturday?
I ain't selling to him. I'm giving it to him for free.
Nah, that's a good promo.
Motherfucking Tim Zoo versus Gaucher.
Yeah.
Tim Tszyu better knock him out or they'll rob him.
Oh, yeah, Robert. Nigga, come on now, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I've been seeing
I
so much.
think Tim Zoo's gonna be the A side.
Yeah, dude, I've been seeing so much promo for Tim Zoo. Nigga, I'm just like, I don't know, man. Gaucher, I don't know. You come in there to lay down, or you come in there to win?
I think
Yeah.
he's coming there to win. I just think I'm not sure if there's enough he can do. Like I said, 50% knockout ratio. He's been put down by lesser punchers. I'm not gonna say that Tim is the embodiment of Costa, as if that's even saying something. But based on what I've seen so far, I think he has enough. I think he has enough boxing ability to be able to avoid anything dangerous from Gaethje, and I think he has the power differential, despite his best win being a welterweight. I understand.
I've never seen Tim Tszyu fight, and I'm gonna just keep it that way. I just want to wait to see him fight live to see what
Yeah,
he's about.
I mean, you should watch some of his fights. Like him fighting in a way was entertaining. The Jeff Horn situation was entertaining. Him fighting Dennis Hogan was kind of sloppy because Hogan sucks. But there's nothing there's nothing you could do about that. But he ended up smoking his ass.
He whooped
Yeah.
Jeff Horn,
Oh yeah, he beat the shit out of Jeff Horn.
the almighty Jeff Horn, the one that
Yeah,
beat Manny Pacquiao.
yeah. Jeff Horn came up away for some smoking. Tim Tszyu whooped his ass. It's an all Australian super show.
They should shit. Motherfucking Devin Haney should fight Cambosos in that venue they fought in.
I mean, that's probably where it was. But again, we don't have no contract details, so we don't know shit.
But anyways, man, I'm gonna be at that fight. I'm gonna be checking it out. Uh, who else is on that card? Ali's Dominican
Rivera
grandson.
versus,
Yeah, Michelle Rivera versus Adorno.
Elvis Rodriguez versus Velasco. Who else?
There's Trayvon Marshall is getting a fight. He's getting a good spin in with some random dude. But generally speaking, the entirety of the card, I was actually shocked about how shitty the undercard kind of was. It kind of reminded me of some DAZN shit.
What?
Like the
There's
under-
another card on this weekend, right? Somebody else's fight. It's like 4 cards on.
Yeah,
Burchell fighting.
Burchell
Okay,
versus
yeah,
Nakatila. And is it Warrington fighting Martinez?
Yes.
Oh yeah, and Ebony Bridge is fighting this weekend.
Man, fuck
And
that.
Ebony
Right, what the
Bridges Ebony Bridges is gonna get outboxed so bad.
I'm still trying to figure out how she got that title shot.
She
Them
didn't beat anybody to
Big ass test.
rankings.
You
She got
said,
that title shot by displaying her sexual appeal.
well, at least she didn't have to put out for it, or at least I hope she didn't.
Nah,
pretty sure she did.
I would say she did something like that.
I hope
But,
nobody fucking Harvey Weinstein her.
Nah, I don't know. Who knows? Ain't no telling.
Yeah, no, she a crowd favorite too, so I'm pretty sure they was pleased to get her that title shot.
She crowd baby what? Because her weigh-ins are exciting.
I don't know, man. Them motherfuckers just love out there. Plus, she's from Australia and shit too. Is this card in Australia?
I don't even know, but yeah, is she actually Australian? Because I know that Cambosos and the Tszyu family are not even Australian. Cambosos is Greek, and the Tszyus are a mixture of Russian, Korean, and Mongol.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the motherfuckers ain't Australian. I mean,
You're
Jeff
right.
Horn. Yeah,
Because his
Jeff
fucking
Horn.
father wasn't even Australian.
No, Costa Tszyu is Russian, Korean, and
You're right.
Mongolian. Yeah, all the best
he
fighters.
looked like what you just said he is.
Yeah, all the best fighters from Australia ain't fucking Australian. That's why Jeff Horn punk ass from Australia.
Nigga, fuck Cambosos, man. Real
Yeah,
shit,
man.
like
Damn.
this nigga had
Off
his way.
top.
Piece of
Bro.
shit.
He talking about say no to racism, and then tweets me Instagram pictures come out. This nigga talking about getting nigga on
What?
the beach.
What?
The fuck?
You ain't
She
see
getting
that,
nigga
Midwest?
on the beach. Oh, you didn't see that?
I'm like,
Midwest?
I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, his wife had a really off-brand Instagram post from a while ago, and she was tanning in a hotel room, and the way she described tanning was getting nigga, and it's
Getting
just like
nigga with my boy.
I'm just like that isn't even good grammatical structuring. Like why you just pulled that word out of your ass? You know damn well it's tan. You know goddamn well it's tan. You just tried to say that shit to draw some
She just wanted to
controversy.
say that shit on fucking camera.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck?
And I was just thinking to myself, I don't even know, should I be offended or I don't even understand what this is. What does this even mean? I didn't know she was meaning tanning until like the last time I seen it. The
Well, I
first time
just
I seen it, I
assume.
was like, "Oh, what the fuck is this? What you
I
mean, get
guess
his
they're
nigga?"
fucking obsessed of trying to act like that they're black.
Well, I just assume because black niggas are dark. That's just what I assume. But I was just like, nah, that's weak sauce. But the fact that he's even bullshitting around. First, it's Devin Haney's guaranteed to get it. Then it was I gotta see. Then it was well the money gotta make sense. Then it was who's the most exciting. I'm just like, man, shut the fuck up and get out of here, bro. Like if you don't want to fight Devin Haney, just publicly say that and then move on with your life so Devin Haney could vacate, and then we could all move the fuck on with our lives. I'm sick of this shit.
You guys should shit. You guys should check out that live stream interview that Conor Loco did with George's trainer Javier Centeno.
Oh shit, kind of local did it. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was like a couple months back prior to the George Kambosos Teofimo fight. But if you guys want to check out that particular video, and that has like a lot of information of what Coach Centeno was talking about, and I actually called into the show on top of BFTB calling in, and there was just like a lot of good information that George's coach was actually saying, prior to the fight, that George Kambosos he could have basically easily petitioned to the IBF at that time frame to force like Teofimo to either vacate that belt or basically be in position to either fight. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isaac Cruz to get that belt, and he would have basically easily fought Devin to go get let's just say the IBF and the WBC unified, and then let's just say if Devin beats up George at that time frame, he could have easily fought Teofimo for undisputed.
Well,
So
the whole point of the story is that no one wants to be able to fight Devin because they haven't seen enough past the victory on him, and that's why sometimes I get frustrated whenever people talk about they talk about the one punch Linares landed, or they talk about the few left hooks that Jojo Diaz lands. They talk about his chin, they talk about his power, da 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 da. All that stuff is cool, but clearly whatever he possesses is enough to worry professionals.
yeah,
Because the thing is, if Devin Haney was all of the stuff that people usually say, somebody would have went in there and whooped his ass. Shit, Tank could have went in there and whooped his ass already.
yeah. Well, the
Uh,
problem is that
Ryan O'Hara says I give Cambosos credit that he said he would face Loma or Haney. Man,
He might not fight either one now, so
would
it
you
is looking
give
like just talk.
Charlo credit if he said he will fight either Cristano or Julian Williams or J
Shit,
Rock me or
no.
Hurd?
Fucking look
Hell
at look
no.
at look at Charlo Senior. He said he fight Benavidez, and everyone is still on his ass about that. First, Cambosis said he'll fight Haney, guaranteed off top. Then all of a sudden, I got to see who looks good. That's bullshit. And now he might not he might not fight either one of them. Lomachenko's busy and he's bullshitting right now. So yeah, it is looking like just talk. He might not fight either person. Talking about
See, but I can't give Charlo crap for it because he did say he would fight Benavidez, but we see who he turned around and tried to fight Munguia, which is a good fight. That's literally what the same thing Kogosis is doing. Okay, I can't get the champion. I fight the hardest fucking contender, Loma. I ain't gonna like give him crap over it. They both fights he gonna lose.
but what do you mean he can't get the champ? The champ was the first one available. Loma's the shit that turned out he had shit to do.
I feel like the William Haney fucked that up because I remember he went on there telling us some. They have to stop this narrative that the fight only can happen in Australia. It can happen here in America too. I feel like that pissed off Camboso's camp because I'm like, that's not a narrative, that's a demand. You want that bill, you going to Australia.
But I don't even think that the Lomachenko fight was going to be in Australia.
It
Honestly, I
was,
really.
it was, it was going to Australia because Lomachenko was said that he was going to train in Australia just so he'd be prepared to fight in Australia, just in
So
case like Corona should happen.
but I we didn't get any details on that because Bob Arum was on hush mode about the entire situation, and that's why I said I'm not even sure anything was actually signed or offered. I think that Bob Arum was waiting on it to go to purse bid so he could swoop in, take away that rematch clause, and get it on the cheap like he does with a lot of other fights because he was not vocal at all. He wasn't saying anything. It was just Lomachenko talking about I've signed my portion and all that Australia talk. But well, shit, it's just like this magical deal now. The first deal from Lou DiBella, we have no details to that because it allegedly didn't exist. Now they're saying this deal is really on the table and he has 3 days to sign, but they haven't even ironed out the rematch clause. So it's just a lot of talk and we don't know what's going on.
One thing about that is, if Lou DiBella sends the contract, Bob Arum doesn't come out of pocket. Bob Arum has sent plenty of fighters to Australia before, so I'm pretty sure they're not against sending fighters to fight in Australia because ESPN has a deal set up to where they can broadcast in Australia.
Right, but this was prior to Lou DiBella's announcement of him partnering with Probellum. So where did that bread come from?
Well,
You know who owned Pro Bellum, man. What y'all playing for?
No. I'm saying that the deal that he allegedly offered for Kambosos and Haney, that deal, they said that they put that deal out there before he even signed with Probellum because the Probellum news dropped after. So are we just supposed to assume that for the last 6 months they've been working on something and Probellum all of a sudden offered to purchase Kambosos versus Devin Haney? Like that sounds suspect, especially since Kambosos is coming off his career high payday on DAZN. So
Now,
it's
from
just
what I've been hearing about that is the zone has been talking with Lou DiBella, so I'm thinking the zone is trying to finance that.
that's what I'm saying, man. The shit's all over the place, and Kambosos is running his mouth about how you only have 3 days, or we're gonna move on, and there needs to be a rematch clause, and he's not sure. So it's a lot of shenanigans up in the air right now, especially since I believe that DiBella's team lied about the initial contract. It's a lot of shenanigans right now. They've been on bullshit from the very beginning. If you were serious about fighting Haney, you would make it serious about fighting Haney. Now, obviously, you're talking about Lomachenko and your fucking money and all that nonsense. The only reason why this is even happening is because DiBella got that deal with Probellum. So now, after the Steven Shaw deal with Top Rank, the rest of his fighters have a place to go. So now he's like, all right, Kambosos, you can do whatever the fuck.
I think they're waiting on Lomachenko. That war is coming to an end soon. So that's why I think they're trying to wait out till Lomachenko's come over.
Oh, I mean, because I figured that Lomachenko was going to take the same fucking flat out that Usyk was going to do. I mean, I know Aegis Claimers came and put that to bed because he didn't want Usyk's reputation to take a hit as him being a coward or anything, but I figured they're both coming back on the same flight. Damn the war or whatever that is.
None of them dudes was even in. It was over. I wouldn't even be surprised if they weren't even over there. They just took a photo op.
That's
So
what it's
weird.
They over there. They just on the border. They patrolling the border. So
and that's
they
what
weren't gonna see no action.
and the
And I don't
thing
really
is,
think most people understand what's going on in that war. What's going on in that war is like neither the Russians or the Ukrainians need foot soldiers for that type of war. Y'all seen the videos. Y'all see the type of war they fight. It's all drones and shit like that. This is a computer war.
yeah, and but the thing is, to me, is that people are amped about this now, and this is how I always say people's attention spans only last as long as the news cycle. Russia invaded Ukraine in 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah,
None of
exactly.
none of you were praying for them. None of you made it a big deal because the news didn't tell you it was a big deal.
Bro, I was at work today, man. I was flipping through some channels, man, on TV. Because I don't even watch TV like that. I was flipping through some channels, man. All three major news outlets at the same time talking about Ukraine, Russia. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is this, man?
Yeah.
It's like, it's brainwashing. But people don't even know what's really going on over there. Just confusing the hell out of people.
Yeah, they're just repeating CNN talking points because they told someone to pray for Ukraine and all of that good stuff. And I'm like, yeah, they no, and that's the thing, Ryan O'Hara. They did annex Crimea, but that operation is ongoing. It never stopped. Not to mention the war in Donbass over that airport that's also part of Ukrainian territory because Crimea is legally classified as Ukrainian territory, which is why they annexed it to have access to the Black Sea and have troops on the southern border of Crimea. But not only that, but those operations never ceased. Those operations are still ongoing, and there's just been a temporary stalemate to halt hostilities. Because, like I said, Putin wants to reclaim Ukraine. He doesn't want to lay waste to it like he's having to do. But again, that was a big deal as well because the Black Sea is a major port of trade. So that was a massive deal, and no one actually prayed for Ukraine because they were having open hostilities. And Midwest is correct in saying they didn't need ground troops, but over there in Crimea, they were fighting with ground troops. It was ground troops we were using. The fight over that airport, the war in Donbass, all that stuff, that was an actual ground war that was on tape. They had
Oh,
literal
that whole
trenches.
airport situation that was in the Ukraine.
Yeah,
Yes,
Oh shit, I remember
yeah, they
that.
were.
exactly. It's years old. It's years in the making.
Exactly. Ryan O'Hara is right. I don't think most people really realize, but this Ukraine and Russia shit was going on while Trump was in office. The only thing that stopped that from happening then is because they was not sure that Trump wouldn't jump in of
Yeah,
the war.
because Trump.
Yeah, because Trump put on such a good faith effort with Putin that they didn't want to risk open hostilities and sour the relationship they were developing
Yeah,
with the United
yeah,
States.
yeah.
But I
They waited till
honestly,
he got in office for a reason.
Also,
I honestly think that they were banking on Trump getting reelection in order to make this smooth. Because one thing they did during the Trump presidency was they increased operations in Syria to help
And
out
not
Assad.
only that, they got in good with China.
Right,
yeah,
exactly. So I think that they were banking on him getting a second term, but when they realized that wasn't going to happen, and Trump was probably out of office for good, especially at his age with his reputation, they just pulled the trigger because waiting would only put them at a worse position.
yeah. Also, don't forget, this was the same similar situation when Obama was in office. Because correct me if I'm wrong, Putin was trying to do the same thing, but he was trying to basically wait it out with Obama during his time frame of trying to invade. I think it was Syria and then Libya, right?
Well, Russia didn't really have active combat operations in Libya, but Putin and Obama were on such antagonistic terms. I don't think Putin was really considering any sort of diplomacy that Obama had to offer. Basically, Obama just offered him a lot of recommendations in exchange for nothing. So that relationship really didn't materialize in anything productive. But
Yeah,
uh, but yeah, no, man. Like this whole Ukraine thing, I just find it hilarious how people, especially in the boxing community, are now hailing these dudes as heroes. I'm like, this is old. This is an old conflict, and people, yeah, real niggas like Putin don't respect bitch niggas like Obama. It's like, bro, you don't even run your fucking country for real. You got to answer to like 500 or 1,000 people. Putin's like, when I snap my fingers, some shit happens. You got to fucking
Hmm.
ask. You got to ask 500 people for a tissue. You don't know anything about anything. Putin is a real life autocrat.
But that's how it really is. They don't really show like I ain't even trying to like bring that type of stuff. But when it come to Democrats and Republicans in office, nobody really respects when them Democrats get in office and shit like that because they know they won't start a war.
And the worst part is that when it comes to politics, Democrats capitulate. They always try to play the middle. They try to hang on the fence.
Hmm.
They try to come to the table and negotiate. Whereas conservatives are like, man, fuck that shit. We getting shit done for our people, and we don't give a fuck who suffers.
Right? I got a million
Yeah,
motherfucking troops. They want a motherfucking Camaro.
yeah. That's the reason. What's his name? Why Paul Ryan and Boehner were ousted as Speaker of the House is because they were coming to the table with the Democrats talking about potential negotiations for bipartisan policy, and the conservatives are like, wait, you cutting deals, man? Fuck that shit, get out of here, man. Fuck them. Okay, it's our house, baby. We running this shit, and that's the kind of energy the Democrats need to have. Yeah, that's why. I mean, technically, it's horrible because that's the job of the Speaker of the House is to make sure that the House runs smoothly and congressional sessions actually lead to productive policy to where everyone's on one accord. But that's not how the conservatives play ball when they have control over Congress. They use it to their full advantage, and that's why Americans will consistently vote against their own interests to keep conservatives in office, especially poor white folks. They'll consistently join for conservatives because at least conservatives are moving. They're doing shit that at least sounds good, you know. Like
Right.
like like if y'all seen that movie John Q with Denzel, he snapped because his wife said, "Make some shit happen. Our son is dying. You got to make some shit happen. I don't give a fuck what you do. Do something." So he grabbed a pistol and said, "All right, I'm holding up the fucking hospital." She was like, "Nigga, damn. I didn't say do all that, but I'm with it." That's exactly how conservatives feel. They're just like, "Dude, make some shit happen, okay? We're tired of dealing with these pussies." So yeah, nah, Putin didn't respect Obama because
yeah.
Obama's a handshaking deal making motherfucker. Putin's like,
Man,
man,
I don't respect
I
Joe
was
Biden.
thinking that that the U.S. and like oh shit I was thinking the connection between the United States and Russia was actually like a like basically like a love and hate type of relationship where the Russian government.
Where would the love come from?
So I don't know. I think honestly, like Putin, Putin, obviously understands that the United States has certain political threats that can definitely pose like a problem to Russian interests, but I kind of feel like he tries to keep it to like a balance to where the tensions don't get up super high to a point where there's like a possible political warfare.
This nigga Putin said he'll nuke the shit out of everybody. He don't give a fuck about none of that. He said, "Hey, look, we about to go in here and bully these Ukrainians. If anybody talks shit, I'm hitting the button. Fuck everybody. We could turn this shit back to the Stone Age. Y'all need to back up and let me handle this business."
That nigga said,
Like,
we
I mean,
all
don't
die.
forget, American bases are actually like posted up nearby the Russian border. So
that
I
didn't
mean,
stop him from doing shit.
But you see him when he said that shit while I was in office. He would have never said no shit while Trump was in office because Trump wasn't gonna get on TV talking about some. We do not plan to. Trump was gonna talk shit. You see how
Trump
yeah,
was
he
going,
did Korea? Some motherfucker
yeah,
yeah.
dropped bombs on Korea, got on motherfucking Twitter, throw up gang signs.
but
It's
fucking
not like it's not like
Trump is so damn cold. He fucking smoked the Iraqi general for like no reason. He was like, you know what? Fuck it. That nigga there, death on him. End him. And then people were like, God damn, bro. You just smoking people for just absolutely nothing. Yeah, Trump would have been like, oh, you got a button? My button's bigger.
my
My
button's
button's
big.
bigger. You want to go, buddy? I've lived my entire life. I'm wealthy. I have an underground shelter. We can do this shit, buddy. Yeah, he wouldn't have given a shit. Trump was crazy.
Yeah.
Trump would actually push the button before Putin just so he could talk shit. So yeah,
I just don't see like the whole deal of like why Russia would want to try to take it to that level, because it's not like Russia has been powerful ever since like the Soviet Union collapsed.
no, it's just posturing. But Russia is a powerful country when it comes to their idealism, when it comes to their willingness to show their resolve, and just their pure population. And also, Russia is an enormous country. They represent not only a significant they not only represent a significant amount of the world's grain supply and crude oil supply, even though crude we get that from multiple places, but they're just a geographically large nation, so their opinion is
Yeah.
going to matter more than a lot of other nations.
Yeah, but at the same token, like like most of their resources, aren't how should I say? It's not as plentiful, as it as it used to be in certain time frames where that the Russian economy could have definitely gotten better.
Well, that's because the West doesn't allow them global market participation. Why do you think that people in Cuba why do you think that people in Cuba still ride around in cars from the 1950s? That's not because they have some great nostalgia for old ass El Caminos.
No,
That's because they've been banned from global trade, and a lot of that's why a lot of the sanction garbage really doesn't throw me, because Russia hasn't been permitted to participate in the global markets fully for a long time.
yeah, and that's why that I kind of question some of the geo economic policies that countries like Russia or Cuba to that manner decide to make trade with other nations, because they definitely do have the ability to be super duper heavily advanced. It's just that there's just certain state puppet actors that I believe play like a major portion in limiting those those potential efforts for those nations to become a lot more wealthier.
And it just sucks too, because under Obama we were actually making some good progress with Cuba. I was getting ready to get my passport and everything, and then Trump slid in and fucked all my shit up. So now Cuba's back off limits. I was so fucking mad. I was like, God damn it. Because I really wanted to try some cigars without having to go to fuck ass Florida, because Florida seems like a shitty ass state, and I don't really want to travel down there. But no, man. But honestly, when it comes to Usyk and Lomachenko, Usyk I've never had a real issue with because his career has never disrupted anything in boxing, so I'm fine. But once you start talking about that franchise championship nonsense, I get fucking irritated. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I don't like it. I do think Lomachenko has had political access to too many opportunities, and it's irritating. I'm tired of them recycling him. Like, I'm tired of them always shoving down everyone's throats. Like what's gonna happen if Usyk can't fight fucking AJ? Y'all gonna say Lomachenko deserves the fight? Fuck, man. Like, well, no, Mauricio said multiple times that people have to request that shit. If Mauricio was going to drop that, he would have done it already. He waited until 2016, right when Charlo gets in a position where he's not supposed to be. So, I mean, I can blame Mauricio, but Mauricio has proven multiple times that he's not a reliable fucking source of information. Because he all he does is talk shit. He goes back and forth. Why was it even created? Hey, some people say it was some people say it's a cash grab. Some people say it was to match the WBA's super champion thing.
Nah, that thing was created because they knew Canelo didn't give a fuck about fighting his man, though. And they still want to keep a belt in his hand.
Well,
So
that's
I think Canelo wanted to drop that belt, and they just found out the way to keep a belt in his hand and still grab sanction fees from him.
well, you see, Midwest, when I try to tell people that, they just call me a racist hater. So, I tried to tell people that in a nutshell, but they were like, you're just racist because Canelo is the face of boxing. I'm like, no, I'm not saying that, he's not the face of boxing. I'm not saying he's a bad fighter. I'm saying that Canelo was in a position where he didn't want to have to deal with a specific mandatory, and they did some shit to wiggle around it. That's it.
He doesn't deal with mandatories, period. Besides Yildirim, name the mandatories he fought.
And again, when you try to tell people that, they're like, well, it wasn't his fault. Blah, 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 blah. Simple. It's funny, Midwest, because the same people that you talk to on Twitter, I'll tell them something, and then you'll tell them the same thing, but then I'm the asshole. I'm just like, bro, Midwest has said shit like this. Like people that you talk to, they hate me, but we'll be saying the same shit in certain places. And they'll be like, yeah, well, still, you're an asshole.
But yeah, I agree with motherfucking what's his name? Jalen Rose though. I want to see Lomachenko and Canelo fight.
You want to see that?
Nah, I'm just fucking baffled that motherfuckers. Like, man, y'all know y'all don't follow boxing like that. Why is y'all even speaking on it? Motherfucker, I
Yeah,
want to see Canelo fight Lomachenko. I'm like,
that's
nigga,
that's
what?
that's stupid. Canelo will fucking slap him upside the head. Fight will be over. Like, what are we even talking about?
But did y'all see Tanks going ranting on Twitter? What y'all think about that?
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
that was
That
funny.
that puts a lot of credence on what people have been saying. No, Ryan O'Hara, I'm blaming the people that requested because he can't force fighters to sign contracts to have that belt. So I'm blaming the motherfuckers that requested. I'm not. I mean, Mauricio's an idiot in and of himself, and I say that to his face for creating that stupid shit. But I'm blaming the people who want to sign up for it because it's not good for boxing. But as far as Tank's rant, that shit crazy, bro. Like he coming off the chain like Ryan did with Canelo and them. He's saying that they only want me to fight bum ass Rolly because my contract up. And I wonder,
Wow, really?
and I wonder if it's on
Oh my god.
I wonder if it's on like some setup type shit, or they want him to like re-sign because of the money involved. I don't know, but he seems unhappy. I'll say that.
Oh yes, let's go, Gervonta, bro. Get the fuck out of Mayweather bitch promotions. Yes.
If he wants to
Where would
separate
y'all like
from,
to see him go?
no, that's what I was gonna say. If he wants to separate from Mayweather, that's one thing. But I don't think he should leave. I don't think he should leave PBC entirely. He's still. I think that
No,
he should probably stay with Al Heyman.
he should be a free agent.
That's fine, but he should still have an active relationship with Al Heyman just for the financial backing.
Yeah, because Al Heyman's gonna take good care of Tank, and I think Gervonta he needs to just do everything out of a fight by fight basis. Obviously keep away from Top Rank, but he could basically have everything on PBC and make sure everything's just basically set up on the terms where he's able to have what the fight set up to his standards of him being the A side. So
Well. I mean, in those situations, if he's losing a major backer, you wouldn't be the A side against everybody. But
yeah,
Tank, you gotta understand, Tank is just he's a nigga from Baltimore, so he's gonna need some business guidance at some point, which is why I think he should stick with Heyman now. Him and Mayweather have had a falling out, or Mayweather is guiding his career in a direction where he can't get the top scalps. Okay, that's some personal shit. And if you want to get away from Mayweather, then I understand all that. But I definitely think he should stay close with Heyman. I don't know how difficult Mayweather's going to make that relationship, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be awkward, but hopefully it'll all work out. But he definitely seems mad. He definitely seems very upset at the situation.
Yeah, because it's not like the Javante doesn't, listen to channels like us. Like, he has to, be doing his research, knowing what's going on. Like,
Well, people shit on him. People shit on Tank all the time. They're like, "Oh, you're a bum. You're a weight bully. You're not fighting anybody. You're hiding with Mayweather." Blah 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 blah. And I hope that his anger isn't misdirected, because he could have stopped listening to Mayweather at any fucking point. He could have just been like, "Nah, I really want to fight this other person, but he's been doing this because it's been financially rewarding." But now it's getting to a point where he's running out of opponents at 135 that are not notable because the division's consolidating, and like people, he's almost 30. Like, you got to take advantage. You're in your prime now.
Yeah, start fighting, all these big tough fights. But that's why, like when me and you talked about Gervonta versus Devin, throughout that knockout boxing's live show panel, I wanted to kind of, add in more stuff with like my point, to be stated, to say that Gervonta still hasn't shown the best version of himself yet. And, like we can't say Tank is this good until he goes in there and faces all those top tier opposition names, because Gervonta is a very, very good fighter. It's just that he needs to show it out of his caliber skill set, where everything's basically pushed like up against him. And then if he's able to show it to all of us, then I think Gervonta can easily dominate every single division, depending on how many big fights that that we want to see him in.
I mean, yeah, we gotta. I mean, we gotta see. I mean, he's still recovering from
I ain't gonna lie,
injury.
y'all. I think it might be too late for him, man. I think he might have just lost like touch with the boxing community, like too far out. Cause I feel like back when about 3 years ago is when they should have like had him fighting like doing cross company fights. Like he could have beat Farmer, he could have beat Machado, he could have beat Burchell, he could have beat everybody at that 130 division.
Yeah,
Like those are all winnable fights for him. But now I don't know if he beats Devin Haney. I don't know if he beats Lomachenko. I don't know if he could beat Teofimo. I feel like he could have beat George Kambosos. I don't understand why they pushed for the Rolly fight instead of pushing mandatory for George Kambosos.
The the WBA mandated Tank on Cambosis originally, but then they mandated Rolly on Tank. That's just what
That's
happened.
because they turned it down. You remember the LB saying that?
Well, yeah, I mean, we already
Yeah.
knew they weren't going to send Tank to fucking Australia. Like, we are, we already know that. And the LB said they weren't willing to fucking pay for the fight. But I think that Haney decisions Tank closely, and I think that Tank pretty much dusts everybody else, Loma
You know
included.
what I feel like he should do right now? I feel like Tank should move up to 140 and fight Jack Cat.
Jack Catterall.
For what? He ain't got no steel. He ain't got no belts. For what?
And neither does fucking Rolly. Neither does fucking
Yeah,
Cruz.
Rolly.
No, I mean
Rolly.
this
Yeah,
fight
Rolly.
is now being mandated. I understand, but if we're talking about Tank taking his career in a new direction, wouldn't it be Josh Taylor?
No, Josh Taylor finna fucking vacate. He finna move up to
Yeah,
147. I don't
Josh
see
Okay,
Taylor.
well,
him
yeah, I
going
think
nowhere.
I think that Tank should be scrapping for vacant now. If Jack Catterall is on the way to a vacant, then absolutely. But if it's just to fight Jack Catterall because he made Taylor look like a bitch, I don't want to do all that. I mean, it's a good fight. I think Tank washes him, but that's why I kind of don't want to see it. I think Tank will stop Jack Catterall. I don't want to put Tank in a situation where it's just like, oh look, he's an easy ass dub over fucking Catterall. Like, come on.
Yeah, Gervonta just needs to, go ahead and fight Devin.
I agree, but one thing I'm worried about too is his power hand. His power hand has been injured twice now. It was injured before during camp, and then it got fucking broken in the cruise fight. So it's I'm
Yeah,
I'm I'm, I'm worried about it now.
That's some weak ass
yeah,
gloves. He injures hands in them Canelo gloves. He needs to wear them Canelo gloves.
yeah. I think
Well,
Gervonta needs to get better gloves.
well, no, that's the thing. The Canelo gloves are actually horsehair, and it's not about the quality of the gloves. It's about what distributes energy. Because the gloves that he wore for Cruz, those are the winning gloves.
Yep.
Winning gloves are $400. They're the most expensive, most padded gloves on the planet. But the thing is, when you hit a surface, it redirects the energy to where it's like Nerf, where your hand bounces off. Whereas Canelo gloves, they're horsehair, so they would just absorb the energy, so it wouldn't bounce. It would transfer the energy into Cruz's forearm, It either result in breaking Cruz's forearm or breaking fucking, Tank's hand, whichever broke first. But I think Tank just needs to go with Grant gloves because Grants you can get with a mixture of horsehair and foam, which is why Triple G wears them, which is why Floyd always wore them. I'm like, bro, everyone wears Grants. Haney wears Grants, Triple G, Floyd. Come on, bro. Like, how you gonna be under Floyd and not wear Grant?
Yeah, Grant gloves are actually pretty good.
Yeah, I actually emailed.
Does he have a sponsorship with winning or something?
I don't know. He just chooses to. I mean, I don't think he does because he tears off the labels. Like when he fought Leo Santa Cruz in winning gloves, he tore the labels off. And the same with the Cruz fight. He tears the labels off all his winning gloves. I don't think he has a fucking sponsorship.
No.
It's like with rival people that have sponsorship. I mean, they say they don't sponsor anyone according to Russ Abner on Twitter, but like the whole point is to show the brand off if you have a sponsorship. Tank intentionally tears the labels off his winning gloves. But I don't know, man. So the power hand is looking how it's looking. And I'm not going to lie to y'all. Rolly is a weirdo. He's super awkward. And that's why I think this fight is going to be difficult and sort of frustrating for Tank, to be honest. I think that when it comes to being in situations where Tank is frustrated, he either defaults to one, punch like he did with Cruz, or he loses his emotional composure, especially because of the history that he has with Rolly in the gym.
Well, I can actually look attest to that because I speak with Zarina on the daily, and she tells me Rolly, he be working like super crazy in the gym, like seriously.
I believe it because Rolly's a nobody. Rolly is he's a nobody. So, he's a nobody that's accomplished nothing. This is his biggest paycheck ever.
I think this fight's going to be a lot more interesting. And I think Rolly.
Have they had a press conference for the fight yet?
Just the one bull. No, that's the one that was canceled.
Yeah, that was back in like California, I think.
Yeah, so they've only had the one bullshit press conference.
Yeah,
this is post rape case.
Yeah, but I was just gonna say, if you look back at the Avery Sparrow fight, Rolly was actually doing very well in that fight, and I think his boxing ability is actually underrated to the point where, if he actually chooses to box and he actually focuses on his fundamentals, he could be a very, very, dangerous style matchup for a lot of fighters. But
I think Rolly's lack of skill is his biggest asset.
Yeah, that's actually true though, because
his lack of orthodox boxing knowledge is his single biggest asset. Because if you try to box Tank, he's just gonna take you out. That's why a lot of people believe that he smokes Devin Haney, because he already knows all of that stuff. All the traditional boxing moves, the standard Queensberry manual, he knows all that stuff inside and out. And he'll just find you, hit you upside the head, or attack you to the body, and then you'll fold. Rolly's trainer openly admitted they implement karate and jiu-jitsu and all kinds of weird shit inside their training. What boxer is training for some shit like that? That's why I think that Rolly's just general lack of any sort of real boxing skill is his greatest asset. Especially because Tank missed out on sparring sessions with him. Tank and Rolly have never sparred together. And Rolly showed the text messages where Tank didn't show up apparently. So they've never sparred. That's not good, because how the fuck do you prepare for Rolly?
Yeah, that's actually going to be really bad for Tank, now that I think about it more.
Yeah, Rolly's bigger. He's not afraid to. He's not afraid
he's
to.
Taller.
Yeah, he's taller. He
has longer fucking arms than him.
Well, that's Tank's usual opponent. But the thing is, Rolly isn't afraid to let his hands go. He's not afraid to fight dirty. He loads up on all of his shots, and he'll get inside and muscle Tank because he doesn't really like Tank. He'll wrestle him. He'll hold him. He'll throw elbows and knees and shit. Like it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird.
He's talking about Anthony Yarde on the
This fight's gonna end up like
Anthony Yarde fucking sucks. Get him out of here.
I have a feeling that this fight's gonna end up like Vernon Forrest versus Mayorga, because if you really think about it, Gervonta, he's gonna be touted to be the heavy favorite, and everybody including us. We're going to be expecting Gervonta to knock Rolly out, but what happens if Rolly just fucks around and actually stops Gervonta, right?
If this fight even goes the distance, a lot of people got to shut the fuck up. I'm gonna say that right now. And the thing is, I'm leaning toward it going the distance. I have Tank winning. Don't get me wrong. I
Same
have Tank. I have Tank outboxing the shit out of Rolly because Rolly fucking sucks. But like, I think it's just going to be weird. We got to see how Tank reacts to being frustrated. And and Rhino Hart, I hope he does knock him out. I really hope he does. I hope he
I
does
think he
stop him.
knocks him out too. I don't think Rolly
Don't
got the
forget
stamina for 12
Rolly.
rounds.
And hey, that's good shit. And I hope Tank does capitalize and destroy him. But I'm telling you right now, if it even goes the distance, that's not good luck.
Don't
Especially
forget.
someone as garbage as Rolling, not good luck at all.
Yeah, don't forget Rolly has a good inside game too. So I don't see how Gervonta is going to do the same thing that he does with every single one of his opponents. Like now
Well,
that are
Tank is a small target. That's one of his benefits. That's why he struggled with Cruz because Cruz put him in a position that he's usually in. Tank is usually the smaller target to hit, whereas this
yeah.
time Cruz was a smaller target, so he struggled. But yeah, no, that's not gonna be a problem getting inside. It's just what Rolly does. Is he gonna hold? Is he gonna elbow? Is he gonna knee? Is he gonna do all kinds of stupid shit? And if Rolly gets a good shot in or some shit and just make Tank look vulnerable, man. Because the thing is, like, I just find it weird that people talk a lot of shit about Devin Haney's chin or his defensive lapses, but Tank is outlanded in a lot of his fights. In Tank's last two fights, he's been outlanded clean for 12 rounds. In Devin Haney's last two fights, he's been outlanded for a collective of 5 rounds. So it's like people want to talk about defense and shit, and it's like clearly there's one person who's better defensive responsibly, especially because it doesn't have as much power. But it is what it is.
Yeah, honestly, like I think how this fight will play out is that I think Rolly's gonna actually start boxing, but then like once Gervonta tries to find those good signature punches to try to hurt him, I think Rolly's gonna try to poker face himself to make himself, draw Tank, into like a trap, and then he's gonna, like brutally hurt Tank, with like dirty shots.
I don't think he's gonna brutally do anything to Tank, in my opinion. But I I do think Tank is gonna be physically and mentally frustrated by having to fight someone as crazy and unorthodox as Rolly. Because I'm gonna be honest, like I picked Tank to stop Cruz because Cruz is little. I was like, oh, look at Cruz. What can he really do? But again, Tank was not used to someone pressuring him like that. And when he was exposed to something that he wasn't familiar with, he kind of lost his composure. And what did he do? He defaulted. He defaulted to throwing the same shot over and over again, which is his power shot, until he hit his arm wrong and he broke his fucking hand. That's it. So I think that once put in that same situation, especially if the same shit ain't working, oh, we got to see what Tank does. We got to see how he adapts.
Yeah, because it's like like as you mentioned earlier, you said that Gervonta's never sparred Rolly, so like to me, being in that position, if I don't know who I'm going to be facing come fight night, you don't know what to expect in that fight. But then on top of that, the mental and physical pressure that Rolly has fighting guys that are pure boxer punchers, I think Rolly's going to use that to his advantage, and he'll start to make Tank more frustrated in the fight, and then he's going to play this mental warfare game with him to try to be, like take him out of his rhythm, and then he could definitely use that as a primer to win.
Well, no, I didn't say that Rolly and Tank have never sparred. They've been in the same gym for a long time, so I'm confident that they sparred at some point. But I'm talking about recently in their professional careers,
Oh yeah.
recently. Like
Yeah.
I mean I could be wrong in that they've never sparred each other, but Rolly showed some footage. I mean, he showed some text messages of Tank not showing up at a sparring session. So I don't know if they have sparred, but they haven't sparred recently in their professional careers, and Rolly has only gotten like weirder. So I think that not having that exposure to his style, especially him coming from a similar school, and you add that touch of craziness to it. I don't know, man. But no, I hope that he does get smoked. I hope that he gets smoked, and then we can move on and Tank and start getting some top level scalps. Nah, real cheesy. No, I'm not giving Rolando any credit. I said he was horrible. All I'm saying is that his ability to be horrible is what's a good asset to him. Like look at people like Maidana. Shit, bro. Look at people like Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz ain't no fucking boxer. He's a dude.
Valero, that's a good example.
Yeah, Isaac Cruz is the type of nigga. He puts his head down, he has his gloves over his chin, and he wings hooks over his shoulders and tries to get something in, and he works up top and down to the body. The dude has no jab. I knew he wasn't beating Tank in a boxing match. Once Tank started to get on his bicep after he broke his hand, I knew Tank was going to decision him. He has no jab, bro. So I'm saying that unorthodox weirdo people that don't box straight up and down, that might be Tank's weakness. You know, like either pure boxing purists or people who ain't boxers at all. They're just gonna jump in and hop on his ass, give him trouble because you're not gonna outbox a boxer. Tank is a master boxer. I know whenever you talk about someone potentially beating Tank, the fucking Tank supremacists are like, "Oh my god, you're not giving him enough boxing credit because he knocks out people." No, that's not what we're saying. Tank is an excellent, gifted boxer and can outbox anybody on any given day. But if someone gets in there and fucks up his entire game plan and jumps on his ass, especially to the point where he can't leverage his shots properly, it could be some shit, bro. Because I mean, look, Tank has to land clean. Because people seem to forget is even Leo Santa Cruz, that shot he knocked out Leo with, Leo ate that motherfucker once or twice before it actually worked.
Yep.
So people like to talk about, you know, oh, Tank this, Tank that. I'm like, look, again, I understand that niggas get really excited about Tank's backstory. Oh, he's a guy who made it out the hood. Yeah, we get all that corny shit. But this is boxing, and we have to look at it objectively. And especially like the point Midwest made, he's incurring injuries, he's getting older, and he hasn't fought any of the people that people claim that he dusts. I still have faith that he dusts those people, but he getting up there and he's incurring fucking injuries, man.
Yeah, he needs to start fighting them now before, he hits at the 30s, and then, like we're sitting, like sitting up here saying, oh shit, well, like why hasn't Gervonta fought these guys? And then think about it, guys like Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and shit, like possibly plenty of other up and coming young fighters that we probably don't know right now that are probably primed, getting primed and ready in their professional careers to be a bad style matchup to possibly beat Tank.
Well, I'm not worried about him getting his ass whooped. That's not my job. But my thing is that he needs to put himself in a position where he can start knocking these motherfuckers off. And I, like I said, I know he's made a lot of money doing what he's doing. That's cool. But as a fan that wants to see him like max out some of these people, you know, because I'm the type of fan that I don't like putting the fighters that I like in easy ass positions. Like I don't want to see Charlo just wash people. I don't want to see Haney just wash people. I don't want to see Wilder wash people. I don't want to see Tank just wash people. Like I haven't picked against Tank at all. His entire career, no one he's fought so far, I gave any remote chance of doing anything with him. And that's not to denigrate his skill set or that of his opponents. That's just the reality of the situation. Kind of like I haven't picked against Canelo since fucking I don't think I picked against Canelo since the first Triple G fight. Like it's just the shit is boring. Watching him fucking wash all these people, it's fucking boring.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm just saying, like Rolly's a fucking weirdo. He's a weirdo, and he fights like a weirdo, and that kind of weirdo, non-orthodox energy gives Tank issues. Like Leo Santa Cruz, you can say whatever you want about him, but he definitely ain't no puncher. I'm not gonna say he has a lot of boxing skill, but I mean, I'm not gonna say he lacks boxing skills, but he ain't no puncher. You know, he's a volume puncher, but he doesn't have a whole lot of power, so he just gets in there and does what he does. But he's more boxer than puncher. But you know, we haven't seen you know Tank in there with someone that's unorthodox. I guess I don't know. I guess at this point maybe I'm just praying that it's an interesting fucking fight. And Tank doesn't just get in and sleep him with one punch.
Agreed.
But it's just fucking boring. It's just fucking super boring. And in my opinion, Rolando Romero lost to fucking Jackson Marinas.
Yep. And I find it weird how he didn't run that back with him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, didn't Jackson Marinas get fucking slumped by Richard Comey?
Yeah, but prior to the Comey knockout loss, I think I saw that one interview that that I think Mighty Max did with Jackson Marinas, and I think I think Kana Loco was there actually translating, but basically Jackson said something interesting within that interview, and he said that he tried to get the rematch in with Rolly's team, and Rolly's team turned it down, and
That makes sense.
I guess throughout somewhere down the line, I'm not so sure if it was actually true, but I think Rolly's team tried to get the rematch in with Jackson, several months after Rolly had gotten those those particular certain victories over Avery Sparrow and Anthony Yiggett, right?
Right.
Uh, but basically, Rolly's team has been carefully moving him to the certain direction where he doesn't want to fight that type of style. But on top of that, if they could find that opportunity to rematch, a fighter like Jackson Marinas, they will catch him, on a bad night to try to, fight him either on short notice or try to screw him over. So that's pretty much how I, seen that particular um, that particular scenario. Sorry.
Well, I mean, yeah, of course they're moving Rolly carefully because Rolly is, he's an attraction despite the fact that he's accomplished nothing, but he fucking sucks, and they gotta be careful because they know that he's not extremely gifted. He's just young, strong, and will run in and jump on you. But one of the biggest takeaways from the Marinas
He's a
fight is
lesser
that
version of Ron Garcia.
there you have it. There you
Yeah.
have it. With potentially less speed and more power, potentially, you know. But one thing about the Jackson Marinas fight is that Rolly is like 5'8" and Marinas is 5'10", so they were looking at pretty much eye level. The reason why Rolly's goofy ass thinks that he has a chance with Tank, not only for the paycheck, but because Tank is significantly smaller. And Tank is used to punching up, but Rolly apparently, he thinks he has an easier time being able to smother Tank. And that's gonna be an interesting test run. Because if Tank gets in here and he struggles with fucking Rolly, y'all gonna really have to revise a lot of the opinions on the Tank and Haney fight. I'm just keep it 100 because I know I'm in the minority when I say I think Devin Haney will decision Tank, but if he gets in here and goes the distance or even like struggles with fucking Rolly at all, a lot of people are gonna have to walk back a lot of the shit they said.
I mean,
Uh,
if Rolly beats Tank, that's gonna speak
oh
a
fuck!
lot.
If Rolly fucking managed to do anything like that with Tank, bruh,
Dude, if Rolly beats Tank, then I'm gonna hit up Zarina. I'm gonna be
Rolly
like,
bet
wow.
Rolly bet not do shit but lay in that ring and go the fuck to sleep. If he does anything else, a lot of people are gonna have to walk back a lot of the shit they said.
Yeah, because it's
And it,
Gervonta, he's a tremendous fighter, but him fighting the C level, B level competition, and him possibly getting beat by those guys, that's not a good look
and the
financially.
wor- and the worst part about this is that you could have been fighting other people, but now you've waited so long. Now you're giving C and B level motherfuckers a chance to actually do something. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's not good because that's
That's
actually
terrible.
infuriating you.
And it's hilarious too because I remember when Devin Haney called out Rolly and he said he'd happily fight Rolly. Rolly was tweeting about having mental health issues and thinking about quitting boxing. I'm like, damn. So Devin Haney just gives people all kinds of anxiety. That's probably why Tank is smart not to mention his name. You
Shut
know,
like shut. Honestly, I have a feeling that Devin has had such a huge history, actually sparring a lot of these up and coming rookie fighters or fighters that are actually getting their careers in the right direction. Because if you really think about it, Devin's name is being talked about more than fighters that we don't even care to watch.
well the thing is, I don't even bring up the sparring stories because number one, they don't really matter. Number two, Devin has lost to Ryan Garcia in the amateurs before, like lost whole matches. But guess
Yeah,
what? That hasn't stopped Devin Haney from wanting the fight. someone on Knockout's channel, I was talking about Devin Haney beating Tank, and someone came on, Ashley's Corner. She came on and gave this impassioned speech about the first doghouse and the second doghouse session or whatever. I didn't reference any of that shit because it doesn't matter. Devin Haney wants to fight Tank. Devin Haney is not afraid of Tank. And like I've said before, with people like Canelo, with people like Benavidez, with people like Tank, the only people that have success against them are the people that ain't scared of them. It's the same as Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was fucking, Billy Badass until he started running into people that weren't really afraid of him and fought that way. That's when he started losing. Like he even said about not Buster Douglas, but he even said about Evander Holyfield that he didn't sense fear in Evander Holyfield's eyes, and he knew that this fight might fuck around and be different. And lo and behold, that's what ended up happening. So I think it's a situation like that. Everyone that fights Tank is fucking scared of him, and for good reason. I'm not saying they shouldn't be, but Devin Haney doesn't strike me as a person that's afraid of Tank.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, so people can talk about his chin, they can talk about his power, blah blah blah. I'm like, we've seen multiple times that the power shit is, you have to land clean. Like look at fucking, and even when you land clean, there's no guarantee they're gonna lay down. Like look at fucking Teofimo Cambosos, Teofimo Lomachenko. Like we've just seen it too many times. And people think that if you say someone beats Tank, that you're insulting Tank or you're not, or you just don't see it their way. It's like, no, I just respectfully disagree, bro. And that's what makes boxing fun. Upsets make boxing fun. They make boxing interesting. I can't stand people who pick the consensus favorite 100% of the time and assume they know boxing. No, you just pick the person everyone assumed was going to win. That's not special. Calling upsets consistently means you probably know boxing.
Yeah.
Like I don't call upsets consistently because I'm not some fucking magical genie like I have a life and shit. But I called Kiko Martinez being champion again, and I didn't get my dick sucked for it. I knew he was gonna smoke fucking Galahad. I even called how, but like I said, it's not a big deal. I don't think I'm some fucking, I don't think I'm some genie in a bottle or some magical boxing fairy. But I just don't think that dudes who just repost a lot of shit and go along with the consensus pick 100% of the time. I don't think you know boxing. You just repeat after what most of the world says. That doesn't mean you're fucking special.
Yeah. Yeah, the last thing that I'll say before I get up out of here is that if you're going to get into any sport or actually talk about any sport, you should at least, to say the least, you should at least have some participation in it or at least get into it. So that way you understand what you're talking about, because a lot of people that I tend to see out of the boxing world is that one, there's a lot of young people that don't understand the sport and they just pretend as if that they know a lot about the sport, but they don't actually study, the actual cold, basically the deep historic roots of boxing, and then on top of that, they don't study the fundamentals. So when you don't have those principles, put together for formulating arguments to talk about boxing, then that's what makes you look very ignorant and very brainwashed for you to just be taking talking points out of what casuals say or people that just don't know shit about boxing, and then you just use that for your own political gain because you're just like basically propping up man fans. So
Well, I mean, man fans spend a lot of money. Well, they spend a lot of their parents' money. So and that shit is very valuable. But I do agree with what you're saying. But boxing is, it's in a constant state of flux now. Like the styles are changing, the fighters are changing, everything's changing, and especially once you add in social media, because now fighters can actively study one another. Oh, boxing is why do you think there's more ducking? Because people can tell who they don't beat now. Back
yeah,
in the day, back in the day, you used to just fight motherfuckers, not really watching that much tape on them, and go in there and get your ass whooped. You used to have to actually make trips to the fights to go check people out. Now with the internet, ducking is more common because people know who they lose to. Like
check
Tank,
out.
you can watch most of Tank's career on YouTube. You can watch a lot of Devin Haney's career on YouTube. You can watch a lot of Canelo's career on YouTube, Mayweather's career, etc. Like Boots, you can watch a lot of his fights on YouTube. Now people know they can spot early who gonna whoop their ass. They're like, oh shit, I gotta stay away from them motherfuckers. So that's why there's more ducking now.
And not only that, Back in the day, you wasn't making no money unless you fought those type of fights.
Yeah,
Nowadays,
meaningful
you don't
fights.
have to fight a top fighter to really make money in boxing and shit. You can make $1 million fighting fucking truck drivers and shit like that, part-time boxers and shit like that. Back then,
Yeah.
that shit wasn't flying.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly,
yeah,
and that just goes to the point that a lot of fans are younger because a lot of fans will defend anything their favorite fighter does. That's what gets me so mad sometimes, and why y'all have even seen me on this show sometimes with certain people that are tank supremacists. You simply talk about the fact that you like to see him fight someone he might not just run over, and they're like, no, no, everyone he fought is super good, and blah 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 blah. I'm like, I'm not saying they're not talented. It's just that nobody had any faith that those people were gonna do anything with Tank. None of the people he fucking fought, like even his first champion fighting Pedraza, nobody gave Pedraza a fucking chance. I sure as fuck didn't. I was like, oh my god, Tank is gonna who the fuck is this? He gonna watch this dude, and that's all we're saying. And but well, it's unfortunate that the younger fan bases who don't appreciate boxing, they don't take it serious, like you were saying, Crod. They support whoever the fuck their favorite fighter fights,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
which is awful. It's terrible. Like I mean, if you want to support them just to put money in their pockets, you could say that. But yeah, like I don't like I said, I don't want to see Tank run over motherfuckers. I don't want to see Devin just wash everybody. That's why I want Devin and Tank to fight. But Tank supremacists will just talk about well the money and Haney is this and Haney is that and Tank wants to do this and it's like all that bullshit sound good, but we got to see it.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, but I gotta get going because I'm like super tired.
All right, have a good one, Crop.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, Grant.
Yeah, man. But the Rolly fight should be interesting. This fight. What other are those? All the fights. So we got Gachet versus two. We got Warrington versus Martinez. Pro Bellum got some shit cracking like every weekend, which I don't know where to watch their shit.
Me either. I still haven't figured out how the fuck you watch these fights, but I know they free over here. I just don't know how.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, they don't even have them on streams. I've tried to check streams for the Pro Bellum fight. They don't even be having those motherfuckers on stream. They got that
Yeah,
shit about.
they're not big enough fights to like where they even like you can even stream them motherfuckers for free.
Yeah, so I don't know where the fuck they be fighting at, but literally on the weekend I'll be watching. I'll have two fights up, and then all of a sudden Pro Bellum will put on Twitter, "Oh, this person has a victory over this person." I'm like, wait, what? There's boxing on?
that shit happened to me last week. I'm doing something. I just see everybody keep tweeting, talking about, oh, he looking real good. I'm like, what fucking card is they watching?
Pro Bellum trying to recruit a motherfucking army, and then all of a sudden they just gonna start knocking off people we know. They're gonna have like
Yeah.
these like that big ass Russian heavyweight that they recruited, that Olympian, which I don't think he's that good. I mean, they need to polish